last night first pitch would be at 2. Now it seems like it's going to be 2:05.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. This afternoon, your Red Sox take on the visiting Medicine Hat Mavericks. Today's starting lineups are brought to you by Regina Plumbing and Heating, the official plumbing and heating partner of the Regina Red Sox. Book your AC tune-up now and avoid untimely breakdowns. Here's the starting lineup for the Mavericks.
And then I covered City Hall for like 2 years, so there's always some
Leading off this afternoon,
drama there, but
the center fielder number 12, Jeremy
super wild.
In right
Everybody
field,
hated each
batting
other.
second, number 13,
Classic.
The city manager's on leave.
batting third and playing shortstop.
Should just more drama than anything.
Batting fourth and playing third base, number 10, Carter Rock. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 22, Evan Morrison. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 6, Jaden Babia. The designated hitter this afternoon, batting seventh, number 2, Adam Volcano. Batting eighth and catching, number 23, Jamel Shabbat. And in left field and batting ninth, number 4, Micah Dvorak. On the hill this afternoon for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, number 25, Max Hudlow.
Oh, and sorry, I guess we should say this earlier. You can do play-by-play? Yeah, okay. I don't want to make you do this twice in a row, so...
Once I kind of got into the rhythm, what was hard was remembering to put the score where
Yes, because something big will happen.
Fox Valley, Saskatchewan. Here on Father's Day, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Sawyer and his dad, Homer.
Homer looks like a girl fox, though.
And now, fans, give it up, get
Doesn't
loud,
look like his
bring
dad.
it
Looks
to the
like
starting
his
lineup
English
for
brother.
your Regina Red Sox.
I thought it was sliders.
Leading it off this afternoon, the
would make a
center
lot more sense,
fielder,
wouldn't it?
number 10, Jordan Tucker. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 11, Justin Simard. In right field, batting third, number 12, Jackson Searing. The catcher, batting fourth, number 2, Brady Pye.
You guys, don't talk about Mitch like you did last
He
night.
was
Oh,
the
he's
player of
here.
the game last night for the Red Sox. He's batting fifth this afternoon. Number 19, playing third base,
Gator's high.
Riley
Yep.
Bender.
Twice.
Batting
Why
sixth and playing left
drive my
field,
vehicle here and then
number
park
20,
it in the heat?
Raphael
And it's in a
Jackson.
cool garage, right? So,
Batting seventh and playing first base, number 5,
because I built my garage
Jay
after I built
White.
my house. The house was built in like 86, I think.
Batting eighth
But
and
the
playing
garage-
second
the
base,
garage
number
is very
6,
insulated.
Sam Baker. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, number 7, Matthew Fox. The starting pitcher for your Red Sox this afternoon, number 55, Colton Anderson. Your umpires this afternoon behind the plate, calling balls and strikes, Warren Burrell. At first base, Connor Jocelyn, and at third base, Kevin Manza.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining the Regina Red Sox on the field is today's junior Red
Who
Sox,
was the first
the
umpire? First base?
Diamond Dogs.
James Reed, 5.
James-
Connor
base.
Joslin.
We would like to acknowledge that today's game is being played on Treaty 4 territory, which is home to the Cree, Soto, Dakota, and Métis Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask you please rise if you're able, remove your headwear, and join Kelly Bruce in the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and nation.
sun is shining on a Sunday afternoon in Regina, Saskatchewan for a Father's Day matinee between the Regina Red Sox and Medicine Hat Mavericks. We welcome you inside the ballpark here at Curry Field. I'm Donovan Mace alongside Elliot Wagner. Elliot, the Red Sox looking for a weekend two-game series sweep of the Medicine Mavericks this afternoon.
A fantastic game last night for the home side. The Regina Red Sox beat the Mavericks 12-2. That's going to be a common thread that we'll talk about as the night continues, but they are now ahead in the series 2-1. They were able to get up on the season series 3-1 this early in the season against a team that's looking to really contend for that East title. That really puts them in this playoff position. And for today's game, they are sending up an absolute ace on the mound. They are coming out swinging.
Yeah, Colton Anderson, the lefty, probably one of the better pitchers, not just for the Regina Red Sox, but in this entire Western Canadian Baseball League. It is his third start of the season. He's 1-1 coming into tonight's, or this afternoon's affair. Pitched 9 full innings in those 2 appearances with a ERA at exactly 3. Struck out 9 batters, walked 5, 9 hits. And he is a guy that over the past 2 seasons, Ryan Pathakos has really trusted in big games like this one.
Yeah, I say ace very, very strongly because he has been the guy that they put in when it comes to tough teams, when it comes to big games, when it comes to especially playing at home and you need a win and you're looking to stop a skid or you're looking to start a run, which is exactly what the Red Sox are trying to do over these next couple of games. In his last time out against the Swift Current 57s, he was given the win in a 5-0 victory where he allowed no runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts across 5 full innings.
So settle in, grab your favorite beverage, maybe sit down on the couch beside your dad here on Father's Day as we get set for this one. The lineup for the Medicine Hat Mavericks this afternoon. Jeremy Freeman Jr. will lead things off. He's out in center field today. Aaron Volcano bats second with Tyler Vanasti batting third. Carter Roth will bat in the 4th spot in the cleanup position this afternoon. Evan Morrison, the first baseman, bats 5th. Jaden Babiak, who's at second base tonight, not his usual catcher position, bats 6th. Adam Volcano, Jamel Shabbat, and Micah Dvorak, 7, 8, 9 for Medicine Hat tonight. And here comes Freeman Jr. stepping in to lead things off this afternoon. And it is a first pitch strike from Colton Anderson, called by Warren Burrell, who's calling those balls and strikes this evening. Connor Joslin over at first base, and Kevin Manzik at third. But you'll see him over at second from time to time, the 3-man crew this afternoon. Swinging strike out of Freeman here.
Worth noting today, a hot one, 23, 26 degrees now Celsius here at Curry Field, North Regina. Hottest game in Regina this season.
A perfect setting on a Father's Day afternoon as Anderson starts things off hot with a 3-pitch strikeout of Jeremy Freeman Jr.
And right there is why we call Colton Anderson the ace of this Red Sox rotation. We haven't seen him too much. We haven't seen him at home yet this year, but they are getting it off to a fantastic start. 3 straight swings on 3 straight outer zone pitches.
Brings Aaron Volcano to the plate. Last night went 0 for 3, did walk, and then struck out twice in a big 12-2 victory for Regina over these same Mavericks as he makes contact on this one. This one's popped just into shallow right field. Baker calls off James Wright to make the grab. Out number 2, a very fast start for Anderson on the mound. The defensive alignment for the Red Sox this afternoon. Behind the plate is Brady Bye. He's the second half of the battery with Colton Anderson. James Wright over there at first with Sam Baker at second base. Riley Bender at third and Matthew Fox in the shortstop hole. Raphael Jackson, Jordan Tucker, and Jackson Searing the outfield left to right this afternoon. Red Sox running a 2-game win streak right now. Short, but it's early in the season. Hoping to string a third one together against a very good Medicine Hat team. An early season look at a potential playoff matchup between these Red Sox and Mavericks.
And that would be a rematch of 2 years ago where the Mavericks got the better.
Sorry, out of Tyler Vaness, but he pulls it foul. Regina 8-5 coming in, third place in the East Division, 3.5 games back of the Saskatoon Berries. And after the loss last night, Medicine Hat drops to 11-5. They're still second place, though, 2 games back. So for Regina, have an opportunity to gain a game on Medicine Hat tonight. And down goes Tyler Vanesti, swinging 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts for Colton Anderson. We'll be right back. Red Sox, first attempt here on Flow Sports.
Back in 60.
Section B, enjoying a nice cool shower, sunflower seeds right now. Just want to remind you about the Red Sox apparel. We've got some Flash Father's Day specials on the go. 20% off on this year's clothing and big discounts on last year's items as well. So if you want to do some shopping for dad, today is the day.
15.
And you can check us out on the Red Sox web IPA or WCBL website from our friends at Idaho's Brewing, available in the Moose Trailer and the Beer Shack.
5.
Back here for 3 up, 3 down first inning on a Colton Anderson, and now the Regina Red Sox will come to bat, and they're looking to do exactly what they did last night, which was put up 12 runs on this Medicine Hat pitching staff, which really struggled.
Yeah, from starter to reliever, it really did have its issues. Definitely unraveled more as the Mavericks got that call to the pen, but forcing that call to the pen early is really what got the Regina Red Sox to break in early in that game.
Here's Regina's lineup this evening. Jordan Tucker will lead things off out of center field. Justin Simard is the designated hitter. He bats second, followed by Jackson Searing. And Brady By, the catcher, bats cleanup. Riley Bender bats fifth. Raphael Jackson sixth. James Wright, who makes his first start since June 11th, bats seventh. Sam Baker and Matthew Fox round out the lineup. And they'll go up against Max Hoodlow on the mound, the righty for Medicine Hat.
Kind of going back to talking about the Red Sox wanting to start early, like they have in a good amount of their games. They scored 2 in their first inning, 5 in their first 3, and 7 across their first 4 innings of work.
They jumped on these Mavericks pitchers early and often last night. First pitch here out of Hoodlow. Looked like a breaking ball that he tried to catch the top of the zone, unable to do so, so it's ball number 1, says Warren Burrell. This one a little low and away out from Hoodlow, and the count 2-0 early to Jordan Tucker. You mentioned last night the Red Sox jumping out to that early lead. The Mavericks this season, they've only played 16 games, but they've given up the first run 9 times. While Regina has scored the first run 9 times themselves this season in just 13 games played. .30 pitch here, Tucker taking all the way, strike 1. As Hoodlow finally finds the zone to the first batter here this afternoon. And that one's outside, and Jordan Tucker works the leadoff walk here in the top of the first inning, bottom of the first inning.
Good job from Tucker. Understands his role as a leadoff man is just to get on base. Facing off against a pitcher who's used to starting games, has already started 1 this year, and is a second-year guy for the Mavericks. So just kind of getting familiar with someone who has experience is very important.
Yeah, Hoodlow, a sophomore out of Century College, out of Rockford, Minnesota. Appeared in 6 games last year with Medicine Hat. Great pitch there to start things off against Justin Simard, and Simard checks in with the home plate umpire Burrell to double check where the zone's going to be this afternoon. Hudlo looks to find that outside black once again, but it's a little bit too far. Evens the count at 1.
So Hudlo, in his last appearance, he went 2 innings and sort of a bullpen day. He was credited with the win, allowing 1 run on 2 hits, striking out 2, and getting 1 walk.
Samard makes contact. This one's right up the middle, and it gets through the gap. Tucker's going to round second and head to third, standing up, and it's a no-out runner on first single for Justin Samard, and now there's runners on the corners with no away.
Speed from Tucker proving to be too much for this Mavericks lineup, getting a good jump going around second base and getting into a position that where the Regina Red Sox threatening once again with none out. Another common trend we saw last night was getting men on base with low out counts.
So for Regina this season, when they've scored the first run, they are 7-2, and that includes 2 shutout games that they've had already this season. And when it comes to scoring the first run in baseball, how important is that, Elliot?
Oh, it's huge. Just, baseball is a game of streaks, and that includes from within games itself. Getting a few hits together within an inning, getting a few men on base, even just as simple as that, is going to be big. And that'll bring up Searing, who knows how to do that.
And he makes contact here. It's over to the third baseman, Roth, who goes the short way to second. They do make the out on a very good play by Jaden Babiak at second, who had to stretch to make that catch, but the run comes across, and Jordan Tucker on the fielder's choice.
It looked like for a moment that the second baseman Babiak maybe got his foot off the bag trying to reach for it, but the call at second is out, so one comes around and one is ruled out.
That brings Brady By to the plate, who has had a stellar, really last week, as the bat has really heated up on him.
And batting from the cleanup spot, the Regina Red Sox coaching staff has absolutely taken notice. Batting usually in that 7-8 role as a DH, now catching as well today.
This one, hard contact into center. This one, though, looks like it's right at Freeman Jr., and it is. He makes the grab. That one at the bat just showing off why Brady By right now deserves to be in that cleanup hole.
Contact, the power, call it whatever. He has really broken out in these past couple of games, and the Red Sox, putting him in that 4 spot, are hoping that will continue into a more long-term role.
So 2 outs now. Runner still on first is Jackson Searing over there for Riley Bender. Bender last night went 3 for 4. He was the player of the game for Regina. Had a walk and an RBI as well. As there goes Searing on the throw. It's well outside. It gets into center field. But Searing kind of had to duck underneath the nest. Or Babiak, sorry, on the slide, and he was unable to get up fast enough to try and advance.
And the reason from that was because the throw down from Shabbat was just a little to the wrong side of the base bag.
Really good jump out of Jackson Searing, as he now has 3 stolen bases this season in just his 4th game played. There he goes as well on the pitch, but this one fouled out of play by Bender.
I like the aggressiveness that is Searing.
So now Bender down 0-2, 2 outs. And we'll reset things as Hudlo tries to get out of it. That one right down the middle, and unfortunately for Riley Bender, he looked like he was expecting the off speed. It's a fastball, and he's called out on strikes. The first of the night for Hudlo on the 3rd out of the inning here. So Red Sox leave one on, and it's a 0-0 ball game as we head to the top of the 2nd.
The bottom of the 1st inning brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan. The sky will go on forever and surprise around every.
Oh, it's 1-0, isn't it? Jeez.
Find your connection here. Visit tourismsaskatchewan.com. A reminder from our friends at SGI, you won't have a good time, but make sure those good times can happen again by always finding a safe ride. If you need a ride home, call First Coast Driver at 535-9394.
30. Ten.
One nothing ball game here for Regina after they put up the first run of the ball game in the bottom of the first inning, and Colton Anderson with a 1-2-3 first inning only needed 9 pitches to get through it.
And now we'll get to the tougher part of this Mavericks lineup, led off by their best hitter. It's Carter Roth coming up. So best on best here to start the second.
This is what the fans pay to see. First pitch here to Carter Roth is inside from Anderson, ball 1. Roth last night 0 for 3. Sorry, 0 for 4. Makes contact here. It's up the middle. Matthew Fox plays it on a couple hops. The throw over there. Great play by James Wright to make the grab. 4 up, 4 down for the Mavericks.
You called it. Great play by James Wright. Great play by Matthew Fox fielding to his right. That one looked like he was going to be rolling right into center field any day of the week, but able to make the play rolling to his left. Throws a little off balance, throws a little off target, but his first baseman is there to make sure that that out was recorded properly.
So Evan Morrison comes to the plate. He's a left-handed hitter batting against the lefty Anderson. For Roth last night, 0 for 4. His average dropped 32 points from 532 down to 500 last night alone. And now Morrison down in an 0-2 count as Anderson looks to be in a groove here through 5 batters. That one outside as he kind of wastes one. Moves the count to 1-2.
Anderson, another one of these Regina starters that likes to pitch quickly. No accelerated rules here in WCBL, but the pitchers like to enforce them themselves.
Fouled off as Morrison stays alive. Yes, that was something that I noticed last season where, yes, there's no pitch clock or anything here in this league, but a lot of the players and pitchers specifically, batters too, play in leagues where they either have it or they want to get to leagues where they have it. And Anderson, through 5 batters this afternoon, has 3 strikeouts.
Looking really well, and especially in this hotter day, you get a little bit worried about fatigue, get a little worried about where starters, how long they're going to go. And so far, Anderson is putting that concern well out of the mind of the Red Sox.
Jaden Babiak up to the plate. He was one of the better hitters last night for Medicine Hat. Takes a first pitch strike. Went 1 for 3, a run, a walk, and did strike out twice. Swinging there, strike number 2.
And it almost looked like Anderson getting ready to throw that one before Babiak even had the bat on his shoulders. That's how fast the lefty wants to go.
Last night, Medicine Hat with only 6 hits off this pitching staff. And on 3 pitches, Babiak sends him down. Strikeout number 4 already. 6 up, 6 down. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Things continue here on Flow Sports. Look out. Anderson's in a groove already.
Sorry?
You can tell, like, Anderson is...
He's locked, yeah.
He's locked in.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to pitch in 26 degrees for too much longer. Although he is from, well, Oklahoma's a hot state, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma is southeast, correct?
It's kind of like it's just north of Texas.
Okay.
It borders Texas.
$20. No. Three.
Back here, bottom of the second inning, and after another 1-2-3 inning out of the Medicine Hat batters, Regina looking to extend the lead here.
The Regina batters, they are getting no rest today as they are almost a full way through this lineup. They'll lead things off this inning with Raphael Jackson. Regina kind of small balled their way into a run the last inning. Only one hit, including a walk and an RBI fielder's choice from Searing.
So Raphael Jackson, James Wright, Sam Baker, the duo for Regina. Jackson, first pitch swing, and this one gets past the pitcher. Play at first, and it's in time, says the first base umpire, Connor Jocelyn, and he's hearing it here from the Curry Red Sox faithful.
Well, either way, whatever it was, Hudlow with a fantastic heads-up play. That was going to be a tough roller for anyone to get. Hudlow kind of scooping it from the ground with his glove. Just gets it by maybe half a step on Jackson, who is known to be able to beat those close plays at first out.
And so with one out now, James Wright comes to the plate. Wright last played on June 11th against Swift Current, where he went 0 for 3, but he's batting .278 coming into today, 10 for 36 on the season. 6 runs, one double, 8 runs batted in, a walk, 3 strikeouts. So despite the .278 average, an on-base percentage of over 400. As check swing here, look over at Jocelyn to confirm, and it's a ball. So it evens the count at 1. And the pitch there out of Hudlow catches the outside black as he gets back ahead 1-2. Great little fastball on the outside.
All right, just trying to get back into game form. I know it hasn't been that long, but it has been a little bit since he's played.
Right swinging here. This one's dribbled over to Carter Roth at third. He plays it on a big hop play at first. Not in time, and this time Wright beats it out, and there's a runner on.
Now this one was half a step for the other way for Regina, and the runner beating out by that much. Roth, smart play to stay put and not try to come in for that high hop. You see a lot of third basemen try to push the envelope a little bit in that regard, but when you do that, you'll get caught. So good play by the third baseman to get it close, but an even better hustle from the first baseman to get there.
Well, we know Roth has a quick bat, showing off the arm power to make that one close, and really probably what helped right there was the big hop it took off the grass. Is here, first pitch swinging is Sam Baker. That's through the gap and into right field. A one-out single, and now there's a runner in scoring position with 2 on for Regina.
Sam Baker knew what he wanted, got the fastball in the zone, kind of a feeler pitch from Hudlow this late in this count.
Brings
He's able to
Matthew
get a hold of
Fox to the plate. Kind of has had a slower start to 2025, but last night the bat really woke up for him. He went 2 for 5, did score a run. He's batting .289, 5 doubles, 7 driven in, 4 walks as well, but he struck out 16 times. So you'd like to see him make a little bit more contact and get on base a few more times as well. First pitch here, nice little sinker out of Hudlow, who just misses that low and in corner. Ball number 1 to Matthew Fox.
Feels like Hudlow's been trying to get the inner part, especially to righty Red Sox batters. It's gotten the outer part, though, a decent amount of times.
Check swing. They look over at first. Fox did not go around at the slider that was in the dirt and low. So now the count 2-0. Hudlow looking to get back in this count. And he'll step off and look right back to second. Pitch there, misses the lower part of the zone, and now it's a 3-0 count to Matthew Fox.
Yeah, that lower part, these pitchers are going to have to work for, it appears, this afternoon.
Look back at second, a second look back at James Wright. That pitch called strike as Fox took a step towards first, so it's a 3-1 count, and he checks in with Warren Burrell to regain his position of the strike zone. James Wright leading off a second. Baker off of first. Swing here, fouled back to the screen. That works the count back to full.
Good job from Hudlow, able to get back in this at bat. That slider on the inner part just hit by a bit. Fox trying to take there, but a little unlucky. Now he forces him to protect the base.
Payoff pitch here with one away. And Warren Burrell calls Matthew Fox looking on a great slider, which just caught the inside part of the plate.
Fox really got froze there. Hudlow, good way to get back in this at-bat, chance to get back in this game and leave two runners stranded as we get back to the top of the order.
Hudlow is a guy that could throw the strikeout pitch. He made 12 appearances for Century College last year, 10 starts, had an 8-2 record, 54 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 49 batters, had an ERA of 3.95 as this one by Tucker is over the second baseman Babiak's head. Rounding third is James Wright. He comes across to score, and in back-to-back innings, the Red Sox have put a number on the board, and they're up 2-0.
A little bit of an excuse me hit over the head of the second baseman Babiak. He made a good play trying to jump for it, but just a little bit out of his reach. And Tucker, once again, these Red Sox batters, they're now coming the second way through the lineup. They know what they want to see. They know what they want to get, and they're not wasting any time before they get it.
Similar situation to what we saw last night, where the Red Sox just kind of kept putting runs up on the board. They got ahead quickly and last night and really kind of carried it through the entire game as there goes the runner. Play it home on the delayed steal, and they say they got him. So it's a stolen base for Jordan Tucker, and Baker went to home as well. A great throw by Jaden Babiak, and the tag as well by Shabbat to complete it. And Ryan Pathakos here is going to come have a conversation with Warren Burrell about that end to the inning.
Well, yeah, it was a good play over at second. Smart play from Babiak to come in and cut it on that throw to second and throw it down home. Looked like maybe the runner that was Baker got a hand underneath the catcher, but they'll say he was called out. And we'll take a break here on Flow Sports College.
The bottom half of the second inning was brought to you by Regina Plumbing and Heating, the official plumbing and heating partner of your Red Sox. Thinking about buying a new air conditioning system? Call the pros at Regina Plumbing and Heating to book your install. They sell quality units at a fair price.
Thanks very much, Mitch. We're in Section A right now. We've got some first-timers to go in the field here. We've got Brett, Kim, and Michael. And we're going to play a little game called Blair's Slider. I'm going to get a series of hits, and you three are going to have to team up here and try and figure out where Slider is. So here's hint number one, and it's in Saskatchewan, by the way. It's in Saskatchewan. He's in a town named after a body part.
Elbow.
What did you say? We are the first hit, ladies and gentlemen, an elbow. That's the right way to throw my part.
10.
Top of the third inning here at Curry Field, and what a beautiful day for it. The sun is out, partly cloudy conditions, the wind blowing straight out to center field, and haven't had a whole ton of chances to see the ball get carried tonight because the pitching right now, especially on the Regina side, has been absolutely stellar so far.
Only 6 batters faced. You mentioned 4 strikeouts so far out of Colton Anderson across 2 innings. Now we'll face the bottom 3 of this Mavericks lineup as they look to get things turned over and get something kind of going heading into the next second third of this game.
Now, unfortunately for this Mavericks offense, Colton Anderson looks like he is in a groove. He's found something already early in this ball game. The fastball has some zip. The breaking ball has movement. How hard is that as an offense to try and really get something going off a pitcher that you know and can see it? You can visibly see the confidence right now out of the lefty.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult, especially from a guy who you're trying to get on top of. Like, a lot of these strikeouts, they're swinging. They're swinging a lot in these at-bats. They're getting down 0-2 because they're trying to get on top of Anderson and get some momentum going early, and it's just really backfired for the Mavericks. You see here, go down 0-2 on 2 straight swings. Anderson, that whiff rate is going up, up, up as the innings continue.
It was a high fastball to start things off to Adam Volcano, who pitched last night, and then a breaking ball changeup in the dirt, which he had swinging as well. The pitch outside there out of Anderson, so that moves the count to 1-2. Now Volcano thrust into some pitching action last night in the blowout.
Yeah, something we didn't really expect.
Pitch here, check swing. They look over at first. He did not go around, so that evens the count. Yeah, Volcano went 2 innings last night. Gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 runs, both earned on 35 pitches thrown.
And from what we understand, he only made 1 collegiate pitching appearance a few years ago.
And he swings and misses that one. Strikeout number 5, all swinging so far out of the Mavs.
Mavericks
they
trying
cannot
to just
touch Anderson.
No, and they're trying to find any way to get any kind of contact. Try to get any kind of look at this fantastic starter for Regina. There's a reason he was one of, if not the best pitcher in the league last season. There's a reason he was an all-star, and there's a reason he's likely to be an all-star again this year.
Pitcher of the year for the WCBL last season, Colton Anderson.
Yeah, and if Regina are able to get to the promised land, if they're able to advance deep in the playoffs, it's going to be because of this man.
Contact here out of Jamel Chabon, but it's right at Matthew Fox, who throws it over there. Wright makes the grab on a knee. Out number 2. And the efficient start for Colton Anderson continues as he's needed just 26 pitches to this point.
I believe you taught me this phrase that baseball doesn't have a clock, but if it did, there'd be about 5 minutes gone with Anderson on the mound. He has been lights out thus far with the sun out.
We're almost through the top of the third inning, and this game only taking a half hour so far. So Sunday afternoon game that's been going by quickly. This one looks playable for Jackson out and left, and he makes the grab just left of the foul line. And it's another 3 up, 3 down inning for Colton Anderson. Score remains 2-0 Red Sox. We'll be back as things continue here on Flow Sports.
3 up, 3 down again for the Mavericks in their half of the third. We'll go to the bottom 3. It is 1-2.
All right, so the iPad is overheating. Just going to give that a second.
Yeah, try to get into the shade, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Fans, here today's bingo number so far brought to you by Unifor Local 594. Safety is our business. Refinery workers putting the care in career since 1942. Unifor Local 594 is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox. You can scratch these numbers off your card if you have it on there today. 1, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 15, 18, 21, and 24.
Get a new hat? Nice. Love it.
card with all 9 numbers will be awarded the prize pack.
Bottom half of the third inning upcoming. Regina has scored in each of the first 2 innings and leads 2-0. Justin Simard will lead things off after his at-bat was abruptly ended with the caught stealing of home last inning.
Attempted double stealing attempt with the runners on the corners. A successful one from Jordan Tucker, but you mentioned Sam Baker trying to take home, but a good tag and a good throw down by, I called it Babiak, I believe it was Van Nest actually cutting off that throw. Came in, get a throw down. Just was able to beat out Baker before he could get a hand under.
Hudlow hoping to settle in. He's been pitching okay so far to this point. Has given up 2 runs. He struck out 2, given up 4 hits as well. As the Red Sox offense has really jumped on the righty early. As the bats start to wake up a little bit for Regina here after a couple weeks through the season now.
But what's notable for the Red Sox, the way they've earned their runs, they've just done that. They've earned them. Nothing's been really given up. They haven't really capitalized on any errors, on any bonehead mistakes or any bad pitches.
Smart swing at this one. This one's popped. Stays in the infield. Morrison gets under it. Out number 1 here. The first time, rather the second time in as many innings that the leadoff runner has gone down for Regina.
Good communication by the right side of that Mavericks infield. It can get difficult on a bright day like this to see who's got it, but first base side, so the first baseman will get it.
That brings Jackson Searing to the plate. The right fielder is 0 for 1 tonight, but he drove in a run on a fielder's choice back in the first inning to get Regina on the board. Takes a first pitch strike there. Searing was 1 for 2 last night. He's 5 for 11 in the season. He's drawn a ton of walks, though. 6 walks. Has a double and a home run. 4 driven in as well already in a season which just started for him last week. Already making an early impact, batting .455. The on-base percentage, he gets on base 2 of 3 chances, .667. And the slug is over 800, so his OPS right now, 1485. And he's ahead 2-1 here. Searing, like Anderson last year, was an all-star in the WCBL, and since the start of the 2024 season, this includes his collegiate year as well. 125 hits, a 373 average, a .510 on base, slugging percentage of nearly 600, the OPS over 1100 for Searing, and he gets another base hit here, hard through the middle, and he's standing at first base easily.
I mean, OPS of 1100 is just ridiculous. From any position, anywhere on the lineup, more or less a guy batting third.
And it's at-bats just like that, and the smooth swing we've come to get used to out of Searing, where he just takes that one right back to where it came from, right up the middle, on the left side of the second base bag, and look over there, it's first base pickoff attempt out of Hudlow, and Jackson steps back in.
I'm sorry about the technical difficulties with our scoreboard there.
And Brady Bye first pitch swinging here, and a second straight at bat for Brady Bye, where he makes hard contact but hits it right to Jeremy Freeman in center.
Threatening, to say the least. He's getting a hold of these pitches early out of his starter. All it takes is one little mistake or one little kilometer down of velocity, and he can really rail that one.
So Riley Bender up now. He struck out in the first. It was the third out of the inning. Hoodlow has 2 strikeouts to this point, looking to strand Searing over there and kind of telegraph that pickoff attempt as Searing was headed back to first before the ball even came out of the hand of the pitcher. Pitch here, nice little breaking ball out of Hoodlow in for strike number 1. Now for Medicine Hat, they've given up the first run of the ball game 9 times, but they're 6-3 in those games with 5 comeback victories where they've scored the winning run in the 6th inning or later. Another look over there at first has Jackson Searing walking back to first.
Yeah, Hoodlow a little bit concerned with Searing over at first, and decent concern. Or, excuse me, decent reason to be concerned.
Searing does have a stolen base already tonight. Another look over there. Now for the Mavericks, we talked about it at length last night. The #1 offense in this WCBL, the most runs scored, 147-4. They average about 9 as the throw over there to second, and they got him as Hoodlow had no idea Jackson Searing was running to second, but by the time he figured it out, he was able to just turn around and throw it to Jaden Babiak, and he makes the tag for out number 3. Red Sox remain up 2-0. We'll head to the middle third of this ball game after this.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Getting ready for the second third of this ball game between the Medicine Hat Mavericks and the Regina Red Sox from Curry Field. Thank you so much for tuning in on FloCollege here on Father's Day weekend. The score is 2-0 in favor of the Regina Red Sox, getting in it for the top of the 4th. Due up for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, it's going to be the top of the order. It'll be 1-2-3 after 3 straight 3 up, 3 down innings for Colton Anderson on the mound, who has been stellar to say the least. But that's exactly what we expected out of the Regina ace. It'll be a tough out here for Jeremy Freeman coming up for his second time today.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Anderson pitching very well this season, or this outing specifically. And the theme continues for these Mavericks, who cannot seem to even touch anything out of Colton Anderson. For Anderson last year with the Rogers State Hillcats, 16 appearances, 13 starts, had 1 complete game where he went 8-5 on the season, 82 1/3 innings pitched. An ERA of 3.5. So really continued that all-star season in the WCBL last summer into his collegiate season this past year, and hoping to do the same here in 2025 for Regina. As this one dribbled over to James Wright. This one's going to be a close play as Freeman has wheels, and it's a leadoff single for Jeremy Freeman, who needed to use his legs on that one to get on base.
Yeah, the call was that the pitcher Anderson got off the bag, but I think Freeman just beat that one out by a good step. It was going to be a tight play no matter what if the first baseman went together or whatever, as Freeman is going to take a little bit of time coming back to run his base. So now it's the first hit and the first base runner for the Mavericks so far today, and we are in the top of the fourth.
Well, and even though Wright was able to field that ball, he had to go well to his right to be able to get that one, and Anderson just unable to get to the bag quick enough to beat out Freeman, who last night Freeman had 2 triples on balls into the gap, where we usually see those as doubles here at Curry. Pitch there to start things off against Anna Volcano is outside, ball number 1.
And Freeman leads the team, or excuse me, is tied for the team lead in stolen bases on the Mavericks. So a run threat, no doubt.
Pitch here high and away as Brady Bye flinches over there to first. With the velocity that Colton Anderson has, it will be tough for these Mavericks runners to be able to steal bases unless they find the right pitch to do so. Maybe it's on a changeup or a curveball. Pitch there is in there, says Warren Burrell, moves the count to 2-1.
Especially against the lefty Anderson, who, when he pitches from the stretch, he takes a look when he kicks his leg. Still looking over at first. See on that last pitch, Anderson, or excuse me, Freeman, literally just had his hands on his hips because he knew that he couldn't run against that.
2-1 pitch here out of Anderson. There goes Freeman. Hit and runs on, but the ball is hit well foul and out of play to the right side. Mentioned this high-flying offense for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. They've scored the most runs in the WCBL, but they've given up the 3rd most in the entire league, and they're going up against a team in the Regina Red Sox who has only given up 73 runs, or has given up 73 runs this season. That's second best in the WCBL. So one of the best offenses versus one of the best pitching staffs this season. Brady Bye throws back behind the runner, but Freeman back in time. Full count.
Good decision from Bye, just a little bit behind the runner. If that's a tad more to his right, then that's likely going to be a tighter play. Now we're going to see, this is interesting, the first full count that Anderson has to deal with.
So far the hardest he's had to work in his 36 pitches, and they might have Freeman picked off here. Play at second. In time, they get him on the 1-3-6 putout. Out number 1, and now there's no runners on here for this full count for Adam Volcano.
And just like that, things get a little bit easier for Anderson when he felt a bit of pressure. That gets slightly easier with this full count pitch upcoming.
So full count now to Adam Volcano. He is the 11th Medicine Hat Maverick to come to the plate, and he works a walk, something that Medicine Hat has done quite a few times this year. The 85th for the team, also leads the WCBL.
And you look at that stat and you think, oh, well, they're going to be a lot more methodical, a lot more slow, and, looking for a very specific pitch when it comes to that bat, being okay to take the walk. That has been the opposite of what we've seen so far this afternoon. And it's kind of the opposite of what we saw last night.
And on the other side of things, similar to how they've given up so many runs, so Regina has struck out the least of any team at the plate. Medicine Hat 8th in that category, 126 coming into tonight. Another look over there at Volcano. So already for Medicine Hat tonight, in this afternoon's affair, 5 strikeouts to add to that total. Pitch here, high and in, as Vaness kind of had to move his head out of the way to get ahead in the count, 1-0.
Vaness, pretty dangerous in his own right, leads the team in home runs and RBIs, so power guy they have, batting third.
Pitch here, big swing out of Vaness at the high fastball, which was well above the zone, but Anderson gets him swinging at it nonetheless.
Looks well above the zone, but when it's coming out of that hand, especially in the high 90s, or excuse me, in the 90s, you really can't tell.
And it's deceptive as well. Pitch here, hard contact, gets past Baker, who is jumping at it, and because it was a tight play, Volcano had to hold up at second, and now there's 2 runners on against Anderson here. The Red Sox have been comfortable here at home. They've played 8 games. They're 5-3 on the season, and Medicine Hat has struggled so far. Well, on the road, Medicine Hat is 3-5, but they're undefeated at Athletic Park.
Yeah, that's where Regina are going to try to take some of their wins. That's why these games are so important. That 2-1 series, if they can get that to 3-1, going into Athletic Park, where especially later on in the year, where that ballpark gets a little bit more packed later into the summer, in a big baseball city like Medicine Hat, that season series is going to be so incredibly important. We can't even emphasize.
Well, you mentioned it. This is the last time the Medicine Hat will make the road trip down Highway 1 to Regina. The rest of the 4 games between these two teams, all in Medicine Hat. Carter Roth down 1-0. That one just misses, evens the count at 1. Roth with 3 extra base hits, 17 runs driven in. That leads the team. Pitch here, slider, low and in at the back foot, and Warren Burrell says it was too low. So the count now 2-1.
Feels like we haven't seen the off-speed work too much from Anderson, but I think with 2 on and only 1 out, he is trying to expand his arsenal, going second time through the order.
This one also now high and away. For Anderson, the most pitches he's had to throw so far in an inning is 10. He just had that in the last at-bat against Van Est as Roth fouls this one off. That moves the count to full now.
And with the heat even getting high as 27, Anderson from Oklahoma, so he's pitched in temperatures such as these.
19th pitch of the inning upcoming out of Anderson. So Medicine Hat able to put a little bit of pressure on the ace. Hoping to get something out of it now. This one hit hard, high into left center. Right center, rather. Jackson Searing under it, makes the grab. Volcano flinches over to third, but he stays at second. 2 outs now, and the runners stay stranded at first and second.
Only the second play into the outfield that has had to be made so far in this game, and now Anderson knows that he's got the help of his fielders deep.
Wind has slightly changed direction. It's now blowing from right field straight over to left field. As Evan Morrison steps in, takes the first pitch, strikes, says Warren Burrell. Lefty on lefty matchup has been favorable already for Anderson as he struck out Morrison back in the second inning on 3 straight pitches as well. Fouled off there. Is Morrison able to get just a piece of it, more than he got in his first at bat?
So Anderson went 4 in his first game of the year and 5 in his second. So these next innings are going to be very important to gauge how much longer your starter can go. Worth noting, no one currently up in the Red Sox pen.
Maybe just trying to ramp up the workload a little bit. Pitch here out of Anderson as Morrison stays alive, fouling it back to the screen. Hitters and opponents are batting just .269 off of the Regina pitching staff this year. 5th best in the WCBL. As this one's hit hard into right field. More under it is Searing easily, who makes the grab. Out number 3. Mavericks strand 2. And the score remains 2-0 Red Sox. We'll be back. Bottom half of the 4th inning coming up on Flow Sports. My pen's a hot.
I'm going to cool this thing now. This thing is like almost going to burn my fingerprints off. No, that's not going to work. Whatever. $30. $5.
Bottom half of the fourth inning here at Curry Field. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here in the Queen City. It's Father's Day here at the ballpark. And of course, what a day to be at Curry Field. Maybe you brought your dad to the ballpark, or you're watching the game, or watching your boy play. Nothing better to do than on a mid-June afternoon as Riley Bender's first pitch swinging here. Grounds it over to Tyler Vaness, who makes the play easily. Out number one. One pitch, one out for Max Hudlow, who that last inning faced 4 batters, but sent him down 1-2-3 after the caught stealing. Probably his best inning of work so far early.
And also, I'd like to give a big thank you to all the dads out there that may be watching whose sons are playing in this game. Thank you for trusting them with either team. I know that if they're maybe coming from out of the country or just coming straight from college, it truly means a lot that you trust us enough to have your players come play for us in our cities across the WCBL. So from everyone at WCBL, a big thank you.
Hit hard by Jackson. This one's into the left center gap. Chasing after it is the center fielder Freeman, but it drops and goes out of play. So an automatic double here for Raphael Jackson as the ball bounces out of play, and there's a runner standing out on second.
We've seen a couple hits go deep into center there, into left center. This time from Jackson, who was able to get a good pull on it, and if that one bounces into play.
For one tonight, scored a run back in the second inning. Looking to drive one in now, as they look Jackson back to second. Wright made really solid contact back in the second inning. Base. Just a ground ball that went just to the left of the third baseman Roth, as this one's in the dirt and bounces away from Shabbat, and he couldn't find it, so Jackson's able to take the base.
Well, we thought Jackson might be able to hustle in for a triple if that ball stays in play. There, he's able to get their base regardless. And now, runner just 90 feet away for Regina, looking to add some more run support for their starter. 2 is good, but it's nowhere near enough for you to put that in the back of your mind.
Scoring 4 runs for Regina has been kind of the level of success. If they could score 4 runs, they are 6-4 this year. But what's been even more key is when they've given up less than 4 runs, where they're 6-0. Pitch here high and into James Wright as he's worked the count well ahead, 3-0. There is one out. Raphael Jackson stepping off of third base after the wild pitch. Wright taking all the way, looks that one in for strike one. Moves the count to 3-1. Sam Baker on deck, hoping to get a chance here. He too had a single back in the second inning. As this one's in the dirt and Wright works the walk. Runners on the corners now for Regina. And here comes the pitching coach for the Mavericks to have a little conversation with his young right-handed pitcher. What's this conversation about, you think?
Well, I'd imagine that he's been in these situations before, has Hudlow, the starting pitcher. And in past innings, it hasn't exactly gone to his success when he allows multiple men on. So just trying to make sure everything is secure, make sure the signs are down, make sure every player on the infield knows their responsibilities, and just get some kind of reliability between the guys and some trust built that, hey, if something's on the ground, I can get you out of this.
Yeah, Medicine Hat scored the most runs, but they've given up the 8th most earned runs in the league, 5.8 per game. Has this pitching staff. Batters also hitting .287 off of the Mavs pitching staff this year. That's 9th in the league. And the opponents with a lot of slug as well. The slugging percentage against the Mavericks over .400.
Now, I've seen the Red Sox go double steal here before with runners on the corners. I imagine that was talked about during the little mound visit.
Bunted foul here by Baker to start things off in this at-bat. Now you mentioned the double steal. Baker was almost the unlucky side of a double steal, where able to make it up to second was Jordan Tucker, but the other half of the delayed steal was Sam Baker running in from third, and he was thrown out. This one low and in the dirt out of Hudlow, moves the count to 1-1. Jackson with a little bit more speed than Baker, though, as they look right back, diving into first.
It feels like you could point to a lot of guys, not only on the Red Sox, but in this game, and say, that guy's got speed, that guy's got speed. A lot of tools in a lot of these arsenals.
Baker shows bunt, pulls it back as the pitch is outside for ball number 2. And you mentioned the dads for each of these players, but you got to remember, too, some of the billet fathers out there who spend their time billeting a lot of these players at both Regina and Medicine Hat, and make these players feel right at home throughout the summers.
Yes, absolutely. Big thanks to those. Some of them here in the park tonight, some of those watching from wherever. Thank you so much for your volunteering and your sacrifice.
2-2 pitch. Raphael Jackson stepping off at third. James Wright off of first. One out here, bottom of the 4th inning. Regina with a 2-0 lead. Hudlow taking a long look in there as he tries to reset, and Baker's worked the count full here. Really good bat out of the young man.
Full count 2-1. This is a pretty optimal situation for the Red Sox. Anything can really come out of this.
Payoff pitch from Hudlow, trying to get out of this inning with no damage against. Baker making contact. It's up the middle, so Jackson will come across to score. James Wright will trot over to second and be held up. It's an RBI single for Sam Baker, second hit of the night for him.
It looks like there's going to be another man that's on the hot streak for the Red Sox. Sam Baker looking to get himself going for the Red Sox. Enter a tough stretch continuing here with Medicine Hat. It's 3-0 Red Sox. Just what they're going to need if they want to keep their lights out starter in this game.
Again, Regina trying to get to that 4 runs scored mark. Is that one just a little bit outside, says Warren Burrell, as Matthew Fox checks in. Now, Fox was called out on strikes on a pitch inside by Burrell back in the 2nd inning, and Matthew Fox didn't seem super pleased with the call, but he'll take it nonetheless as he's swinging hard at this one. But it's slicing foul and towards that Red Sox bullpen in right field. Hudlo coming into today. Batters were hitting 250 off of him with a 333 on base percentage, and he gave up about a walk and a hit per inning. A little bit more than that, about a 1.5 whip. And Fox hits this one high and into left. This one looks playable for Micah Dvorak as he gets under it. That'll send all the runners back to their bases, and it's out number 2 as Fox just got a little bit under that one.
Got under it, got a good piece of it, though. A nice job from Dvorak's son. But about be in his face, it's currently over our press box, but shining down directly at his eyes. So a good job from him to shield it off just like a solid outfielder would that he is.
Not a ton of shade out there to hide underneath this afternoon, as it's a beautiful day here in Regina.
Best day we've had.
Wind is down, although blowing slightly from right field to left. As we see those flags out in center field at half-mast. Still remembering the late pitcher, Jesse Lubinecki, as Jordan Tucker lines this one into left field. Baker will make the turn at second and head to third as James Wright comes across to score, and it's 4-0 Red Sox.
It's what you asked for. You top your lineup to be able to keep the momentum going or start something. That's just what Jordan Tucker does. His second RBI of the day. He's had himself quite the afternoon.
He's 2 for 2 tonight as well with a walk. So the top of the lineup doing what it's supposed to do. As Rypathakos gets the jump in the bat that he's probably been looking for the first 3 weeks of the season. Regina now has put up 16 runs against these Mavs in the last 13 innings. Throw over there has Tucker diving back.
Now I know the big thing in the clubhouse after this game is going to be asking for some consistency, because we saw losses to Weyburn, we saw losses to Swift Current, we saw a win against Weyburn here, Curry, right before this 2-game set, but now we see a big win last night. We see the Red Sox going up 4-0 here just before the midway point of this contest, and I think that's going to be the thing that's going to be drilled into the heads of these players by Rypathakos is, if we want to get first in this division, if we want to get far in the playoffs, if we want to, have success throughout this regular season, we need some kind of consistency, and that's not just against good teams or bad. That's everyone home and away, which is going to be that next step for this ball club.
Really, this streak where the Bats have woken up started Friday night against Weyburn, where the Red Sox put up 9 runs. Then they scored 12 last night. 2 outs here. Justin Samard in. 1 for 2. Runners on the corners as they call time. Pitch just misses. So they count now 2-1.
Hudlow, you tried to work inside to righties. That didn't go to much success. Now he's trying to work the outer part. We've seen these last couple of batters and still not able to hit the zone. Although I'm sure he's going to keep trying.
2-1 pitch, 2 outs. That one's in there. June has been the month where the Bats have really sparked for Regina. Last season, The record in June was 16-5, and that includes a 12-game win streak that they had between June 11th and June 26th. That's the exact mark that we're between right now, starting on Friday. This one's hit hard by Samard. Sliding is Vanessa. He'll go the far way over to first, but it's offline, so Samard gets on base on a really tough play by the shortstop, and another comes across to score. It's 5-0 Red Sox.
Vanessa made the good throw, or made the good fielding play, I should say. I just don't think he was able to get his feet set enough for his liking, and the throw over came a little bit high, and with a righty getting loose in the Mavericks pen, I wonder if this is going to be the afternoon for Hudlow.
I would suspect they do call it a hit for Samard. But yes, you mentioned another mound visit here in the 4th inning, and a pitcher is walking in. We'll introduce you to the new Mavericks slinger right after the break.
In 60.
Hey, you guys hit on that one?
Who is this?
Luis Diaz, 28.
Now finishing for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, number 28, Luis Diaz.
Not sure what it is with Mavericks pitchers and sharing names with soccer players, but we had Joe Hart last night. We got Luis Diaz now. And in.
Back inside Curry Field, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th, but the Red Sox have put 3 across, and that spells the night for Max Hudlow and brings up the right-handed pitcher Luis Diaz to the mound.
Yeah, Diaz, the righty from Arga Prieta, Mexico, a junior at Ottawa University, and that will end the day for Hudlow. Line not closed just yet. Both runners are his responsibility, but at the moment he's gone 2 whole innings, allowing 4 hits, 2 earned runs, which can inflate, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk in 10 batters faced.
And for Diaz, making his 6th appearance early in this season, he has a 1-0 record with an ERA of just over 6 in 17 2/3 innings pitched. 13 strikeouts, a walk, 22 hits against, batters hitting just over 300 off of him with an on-base percentage of .311 and the slug at .438, a whip of 1.3. So the Mavs just looking to start the bleeding, and they've been absolutely beaten and banged all weekend long by this Red Sox offense.
And if Diaz isn't able to get something really quickly, only 1 out, or only 2 out, I should say, only 1 out needed for Diaz. If he's not able to record this quickly, things could get out of hands, especially with a good bat in Jackson Searing coming up.
And Jackson Searing at the plate now. Already 2 for 3, 4th plate appearance here in the 4th inning.
And Diaz in his last game against Saskatoon in a 5-4 loss went 4 innings, allowing 4 runs, 6 hits, and striking out 2.
Very serviceable bullpen arm, though, for the Ottawa University Braves. 17 appearances last season, 2-1 record, 29.2 innings pitched with an ERA of 4.25. Gave up just 17 runs in those 17 appearances, struck out 49 batters. So the swing and miss there for the righty, who has a pretty decent fastball, as we just see it there, high to Jackson Searing, though. Count even at 2. But the floodgates open here for Regina. Hoping to keep the run going. 2-2 pitch, 2 out, 2 runners on. Low and away, and Searing able to work the count full. Runners will be going on the pitch.
Just the situation we want to get a new reliever into with the full count.
Look back at second. There go the runners, but it's outside, and Jackson Searing works another walk, his 7th in 5 games since rejoining the Red Sox this summer.
Well, we promised the right fielder has a lot of power, but the amount of walks he's taken, it feels like he hasn't had the opportunity to show it. He'll take getting on base any way he can get, and now it is the man who definitely can hit home runs, and we can prove it. It's Brady Bye.
Well, for Jackson, I mean, he's shown off the elite skill at the plate all season long last year. And you could tell the pitchers across the league already early in this season trying to stay away from him. And Brady Bye, who's had a very hot week himself, steps to the plate. 0 for 2, however, tonight, but he's made really solid contact on 2 flyouts. Pitch in there, called a strike to start things off to Bye out of the hand of Diaz. Bye, the 9th Regina Red Sox hitter to come to the plate this inning.
And I'd imagine that if Hudlow was still on the mound, that Bye would be able to get a hold of one because that'd be the 3rd time they'd see each other.
Brady Bye, the Regina product. At a Point University, swinging and missing at that one as he falls behind in the count 1 and 2.
Now, if Diaz can get out of this inning, bases loaded, get the 1 out, and only allow the 1 walk, that'd be a huge success for the Mexican.
Pitch here. Bye, fights it off, stays alive. Count remains 1 and 2. Three straight Red Sox have reached on base after Matthew Fox flew out for the 2nd out of the inning. Decent little 2-out rally here going for the Red Sox. Bye looking to keep it going. Pitch here, hit on the ground. Tyler Vanesti fields. He'll go over to first base instead. Morrison fields it for out number 3, but the Red Sox put 3 up on the board. We're getting close to halfway in this one. Top of the 5th inning, 5-0 Red Sox here at Curry Field. Things continue on Flow Sports. Good. I always hate it when they bat around. It always makes the scorecard confusing.
Yeah, I know.
And then you got to hope that they don't bat around in the next one because you got to slide it over.
Yeah. What's the worst part is when you do have to slide it over and then the next guy goes out. So then it's basically just useless. And still Colton. They're all cities.
Back inside Curry Field, top of the 5th inning. Medicine Hat coming back to the plate. Now, they've only scored 2 runs in about a game and a half here. But it's really not something that this offense is used to, not putting up numbers on the scoreboard. 8 times already this season they've scored 10 plus. They are 7-1 in those games. And They have 5 comeback victories as well.
And that's the key stat. They've scored a lot of runs late. We didn't see it last night too much. They did get some sort of, I guess we call it garbage time runs when they were down with a goose egg and they were able to score 2. But 5 runs is certainly enough to come back from. It was a good job by Luis Diaz, the new reliever for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, to come in and kind of stop the bleeding in a way.
Jaden Babiak, Adam Volcano, and Jamel Shabbat, the due up for Medicine Hat here. Babiak 0 for 1, struck out back in the 2nd inning. One of 5 Medicine Hat Mavericks to strike out already today, but finally in the 4th inning, Medicine Hat was able to get a base runner on after the first 9 were all retired by Colton Anderson, and now looking to turn those base runners into runs are these Mavericks.
And they certainly have the ability to do that with the 3-2 up.
Pitch here, making contact is Babiak. It's grounded softly over to Justin Samard. Sam Baker at second, and it's out number 1. Leadoff batter down once again for Medicine Hat.
Still no one getting loose in the Regina pen. You'd imagine that it'd take a base runner or 2 in this inning to force the bullpen's hand.
And a Volcano in. First pitch of the at-bat by Colton Anderson is in the dirt. Volcano also 0 for 1. He struck out swinging to lead off the 3rd inning.
Now, you did mention his collegiate career. Anderson does have a complete game, so he does have the experience of going the full 9. Not saying that that is likely or even probable to happen in this game, but he can go a while, and that's proven.
This one dribbled foul by Volcano as the count goes to 2-1. Just 56 pitches to this point of the ball game for Anderson. Worked very efficiently in the first 3 innings. Only needed 19 to get through it. Last inning had to work a lot harder. But already quick first out here in the 5th. And he's 1 strike away from getting Adam Volcano here for out number 2.
In those first 3 innings, if Anderson is able to maybe throw a shutout or get maybe into the 6th, perhaps even the 7th inning.
Now you said it. The pitch is outside. Volcano taking all the way, count full.
I'm saying if that does happen, if.
Yeah, but you can't say the word, though.
Well, I said it twice.
Now the broadcaster jinx is on.
There you go. But we would look back to those first 3 innings.
This one's hit hard and into center field. That'll be a base hit for Adam Volcano with 1 away. Right on cue.
Don't look at me.
Sweats it out a little bit now.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just the heat.
Good piece of hitting, though, out of Adam Volcano to reach there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of 3 Volcanos on the team, all of which can really swing the bat to pretty good success. Any combination of those 3 you put out on a lineup will surely generate you a couple of base runners, as it does in this instance.
Volcano just the 3rd base runner to reach via the hit, 4th of the afternoon for Medicine Hat, and they've all been in the last 2 innings. The first time through the lineup was a struggle and a half for Medicine Hat, but the second time through the order a little bit better, which is to be expected. You see the arm, you see the movement, you see the velocity, you kind of get an understanding of where Anderson is trying to work, and you improve off of what you saw your first time up. Oh, 0-2 pitch here to Shabbat. Pitch high and away. As Anderson kind of wastes one there. Where do you think he goes here?
Well, he's worked pretty well on the upper part of the zone. I'd imagine that that's something of a sweet spot this afternoon.
Look over at first at Volcano. He doesn't go anywhere, and it's a slider low and in, as expected.
Shows you what I know.
Evens the count at 2 for Jamel Shabbat. Shabbat this season batting .385, 3 runs, 3 driven in. He's drawn 8 walks as well, as he fouls that one off. Oh, sorry, no, it was a check over to first as I was reading the board. So has an on-base percentage of .652. And he had a pinch hit plate appearance last night, went 0 for 1. But drove in a run on a ground out. Works a lot of walks, doesn't strike out a ton. He's got more walks than hits this season. This one hit right at Anderson, who's able to knock it down. Throw over to first is offline and goes into right field. Then Shabbat falls down. Rounding third now and heading home is Volcano. Play at the plate. Oh, he missed the tag. And so now Volcano is safe, as Warren Burrell, a very delayed call there, and it appears Medicine Hat has scored their first run of the afternoon.
Yeah, that was extremely bizarre. The runner came in, throw was on time, but looked like Bai couldn't get the tag down. It was a good slide in from Volcano, and as you mentioned, no signal from the home plate umpire, so it looked like maybe the runner didn't touch the home plate, but there wasn't a tag. It was waiting for some kind of play. A couple people here in the stadium were screaming for Bai to tag the runner. He did, and then the call came out.
I think you'd like to see a umpire just be a little bit more confident with a call like that and really sell it, because I don't think anybody here in the ballpark believes Warren Burrell that that runner was safe right now. Oh, as this one gets past the glove and to the screen of Brady Bai, and now Jamal Shabbat able to move up on the passed ball.
In those situations where the umpire doesn't make a call, that's usually what happens, is nothing happened. But in that instance, they do rule it safe, but well after the play occurred.
So it's now a 5-run ball game nonetheless. Colton Anderson gets Dvorak swinging at that beautiful breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Dvorak tonight 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field. Only one out here. 1 run in. Runner off a third now. As Dvorak makes contact. This one slicing foul. Chasing after it is Raphael Jackson, but he's not able to get there fast enough. Fouled off, and Dvorak stays alive.
So now with the runner on third and 1 out, looks like maybe a couple arms currently standing in that Regina pen. And we talked about the comeback and how good Medicine Hat really are at it, with the chance to turn the lineup over.
Well, for Medicine Hat, they have 8 games where they've scored 10-plus runs. But in 4 games, they've also given up 10-plus runs, including last night. So this one's low and away. Dvorak able to lay off, evens the count at 2. Just a couple arms starting to get moving. A little bit of stretching going on for Regina. Nobody really throwing it yet. The wind has also changed directions. It was blowing sort of right to left. Now it's blowing almost out to left field as another foul ball here by Dvorak goes to the screen, and he stays alive.
Still not as crazy as wind as we've had in past games here at Curry Field, but let's call it a gentle breeze.
53rd pitch in the last 2 innings alone for Colton Anderson here. This one's up the middle. Gets past him, though, to Fox. Fox is going to go to home, and they got the runner cut down. Out number 2. What a decision by Matthew Fox.
Yeah, it looked like the easier play was going to be over at first. Throw came down by, looked like he might have been a little startled by it, but a fantastic decision. Shabbat certainly wasn't jogging his way over to home, but wasn't exactly hustling either. Fox able to see that and guns down the lead runner, and that'll put the Forest at second and first.
Just a heads-up play by the captain of the infield in Matthew Fox, and now we'll have a mound visit here. And Stephen Butts heads out to the mound. Let's get a gauge.
And I'd imagine this is a good decision, you know, getting ready for the third time through the lineup with Freeman coming up, the leadoff man. Just talk to him about what he's thinking, what he wants to show him to get this final out.
Freeman 1 for 2 tonight with a leadoff strikeout in the first and then a leadoff single in the fourth inning, which started a little bit of a rally in the fourth. And we thought Medicine Hat, with the pressure they were putting on, maybe we're going to get on the scoreboard. Anderson able to shut it down, and Freeman on the season already with 6 extra base hits, including 3 triples. Swinging at the first pitch out of Anderson, the high fastball gets past Freeman, strike number 1.
Those are the exact kind of pitches that he was able to get the strikeout back in the first inning. Those high fastballs. It's been his comfort pitch. You see it again.
Just back to the bread and butter, and why not? Freeman has been unable to touch that pitch all afternoon.
Very simple. You throw it hard, they can't hit it.
0-2 pitch. Another fastball. Little high there as Freeman able to lay off. This one high. I would suspect maybe a changeup in the dirt here.
Change-up, slider inside. He's got a couple of these put-away pitches that he's had.
There it is. Another high fastball. High and away this time, though. Sanderson continues to work through this at-bat. 77th pitch of the afternoon coming for the lefty. Swinging here is Freeman. That's a soft hit ball into center. It's going to drop in front of Tucker. So holding up at second is Dvorak. Third hit of this inning for the Mavericks.
And you saw for the first couple fastballs, Freeman realized, hey, I can just lay off of this and wait for something else. Gets the slider that was a little too over the plate and jukes it in center for a single.
So the count resets as Aaron Volcano comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight, but he did walk back in the fourth inning and then was left on base as Anderson and Baker kind of run into each other, but doesn't matter as Fox, who maybe was going to go just run it over to second, throws it over to first instead and get Volcano on the first pitch. Mavs do get on the board. It's now 5-1 across the halfway mark here at Curry Field. We'll be back on Flow Sports.
The Mavericks in their half of the 10th, they get on the board with 1 run on 3 hits. 1 return error, there are 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th, the Red Sox still have a 5-1 lead on the Medicine Hat. Bingo numbers are brought to you by Unifor Local 594. Safety is our business. Refinery workers putting in air. In career since 1942, a proud sponsor of the Red Sox. If you have these numbers on your card today, you can scratch them off.
60.
2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 15, 17, 18, 19, 21, 24, and 27. If all 9 numbers on your card have occurred during today's game, please take the card to the official scorekeeper for verification immediately. The first game card of all 9 numbers will be awarded the prize.
20.
Anderson's done.
Sorry?
Anderson's done.
Yeah, okay.
He's going to the bullpen.
Five.
Got the handshake. Back inside as we cross the halfway mark here at Curry Field, and just watching it between innings, it appears the night for Colton Anderson is done as he walks out to the Red Sox bullpen to join his teammates, getting a ton of high fives. Ry Pathakos giving him the handshake, and what an afternoon it was for Colton Anderson on the mound.
Yeah, you said it best. All those high fives, all those handshakes, here deserves those tenfold, only holding best offense in the league to 1 run across a grueling 5 innings in the Regina Heat. Faced some adversity, was able to fight it off through the help of his defense.
First pitch swinging as Riley Bender fouls this one off the merch trailer just to our right.
And maybe by a couple of feet.
Bender led things off the last inning where he grounded out. He's 0 for 2 this evening. And this one hit hard and into left field at the wall, chasing after it. And it's made. The catch is made by Micah Dvorak out there on the warning track. Bender got all of that one.
All of it, but about 2 feet as it was caught right in front of the 384 sign. Good read there by Dvorak. He's made a good couple of plays. Clouds currently kind of rolling in as it's kind of blocking out that sun that was giving the outfielders some trouble earlier in this game, but still piercing through, and good play from Dvorak.
We've seen the last 2 nights the ball carrying out to right field just where the wind is, and unfortunately for Bender, with the wind pushing it out to left, just unable to get enough of it to get it over the wall out there, 384 feet. And out number 1 is steps in Raphael Jackson, and he's ahead 2-0 here after 2 balls in the dirt out of Luis Diaz. That one's outside, so the count 3-0. All 9 Red Sox hitters came to the plate last inning. We also saw the night end for Max Hoodlow. And Luis Diaz throwing his 17th pitch here in relief is in the dirt and in, and Raphael Jackson works the walk on 4 straight pitches.
Good way for Jackson to reach base, able to dodge out of that last ball 4 offering. And now there's a runner on with Regina looking to put this game a little bit more out of reach as we head into the final third.
For Wright, he's scored twice already tonight after a single back in the second, and then he walked his last time up. He's had a real solid afternoon of baseball. Kind of the backup first baseman is Wright. Usually, since Jalen Seward has come up to the Red Sox, he has seemed to have solidified that everyday starter role at first. But Wright getting a little bit of work in today here on a Sunday afternoon and making the most of it as he takes a strike in there, evens the count at 1.
Yeah, and in these back-to-back sets that are becoming more common this season in the WCBL, depth is the name of the game. Not just in the bullpen, not just in the rotation, but in the infield, in the outfield, that versatility, it's going to be rewarded.
This one hit high and hard into left field, but Dvorak doesn't even have to move out there as he makes the grab on another hit ball, hard hit ball out to left field.
It looked initially like Dvorak maybe didn't know where it was, kind of threw his arms up. Not sure if that was a decoy play or if that was legitimate, but either way he's able to get under it again, and the most busy outfielder for the Mavericks makes the play.
Sam Baker coming in now. 2 for 2 tonight. Was 0 for 4 last night, but on Friday was 2 for 5 with an exciting inside the park home run. So the second baseman, 4 for his last 11 in this weekend stretch. So we're going to look over there, and Jackson stepping back onto the first base bag.
The 2 hits a game, that's kind of the consistency I was talking about earlier that Ry Pathakos is going to be looking for. If you can consistently get 1 or 2 hits a game, that is unbelievably valuable.
Pitch here, he shows bunt, goes right back to the pitcher. Sacrifice situation, no, not a sacrifice situation. He was trying to get on base with that. And it's out number 3 as Sam Baker tried to catch the infield off balance. The Red Sox don't extend the lead. It remains 5-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Mavs back to the plate here after the short break.
We'll go to the top of the 6th. Red Sox into the goal right now. They lead it by a score of 5-1. Fans, if you've got a crew of 25 or more, just
All right. Who's up now?
you can sit together in a Red Sox game. And if you ask
Page.
Page. Hangman, Aiden Page. $50.
Hit number 2 in Alberta. This is from the early 90s, late 80s. Unbelievable. In the movie, the umpire of all game to save the queen.
20.
What do you think, Kyle? Leslie Wilson? What do you call it? It's Leslie Nielsen. Get that there. That's what we're looking for. Leslie Nielsen.
4, 3, 2.
Back here, top of the 6th inning, and after a great first half of the ball game out of Colton Anderson, Ryan Pathakos will go to his pen and hand things over to Aiden Page.
Yeah, Page, a reliable reliever for this Red Sox team. He's already made 5 appearances in relief. Is tasked with 1 loss. He got .395 earned run average across 13 2/3 innings. He has struck out 16, walked 6, and allowed 15 base hits. His last appearance came on the 11th of June in a 9-4 loss in Swift Current, where he went 2 whole innings, allowing a run, 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 11 batters faced.
And we close the book on Colton Anderson, who goes 5 full, given up 5 hits, 1 walk, struck out 5, gave up 1 earned run. And leaves with the opportunity to get a winning decision here. And Aiden Page hoping to lock it in and keep the roll going out of the starting pitcher against this Mavs offense. First pitch out of Page is a called strike from Warren Burrell.
All right. Remind me again, Donovan, it's a save situation. 3 runs or 4?
3 runs, unless you go 3+ innings,
There it
it
is.
doesn't matter. So we saw the other night on Friday, Colton Bank worked 3 innings, and although he came in what was not a save situation, he worked the last 3 and was given the save. Whereas last night for the Red Sox, we saw Calvin Shepard pitch 2 innings, and then Ikabuchi pitch 1 as this one's hit hard and off the right field wall by Tyler Vaness, sliding in there at second, not in time. It's a hard hit double to lead things off here in the 6th.
Almost too hard hit as Van Nest gets really good hold of that one. It bounced off the right field wall, and the throw came in and nearly was in time. But Van Nest will come in sliding with a leadoff double. Just what the Mavericks need if they want to get on top of this new reliever.
Probably the hardest hit ball we've seen out of a Medicine Hat Maverick so far this afternoon, and he just was able to make solid contact and rope that one into right. Again, the wind blowing out towards left field this afternoon, as we work into the evening potentially. First pitch to Carter Roth, swinging strike at the slider. Roth 0 for 4 last night, already 0 for 2 this afternoon, 0 for his last 6 for the guy who came into this weekend series leading the WCBL in average.
It's certainly been a bit slow to get going here at Curry, but as we know, that can change in an instant.
Did reach twice last night, but it was both for fielders' choices. Came into today batting .300. Came into the weekend batting .532. His average now all the way down to .485. One pitch fouled off the inside foot to the screen by Roth.
And also looks like we have a new catcher into the game. Now behind the plate, it's Rhett Hodgins.
That's a good point. I didn't even notice that. So the entire battery changes for Regina here to start this inning. Another one that is fouled off and out of play.
Now in the game, the catcher for the Red Sox, number 46, Rhett Hodgins.
Saw Hodgins get behind the plate for one inning last night, but I don't think he's had any plate appearances this season. We'll check back in with that when he does come to the plate inevitably. As Page, the slider here, is inside to Roth, works the count to even 2-2.
We're seeing kind of two different philosophies from the Regina pitchers. We saw Anderson working very quickly. Now we're seeing Page going a lot slower. Kind of working the pitch count, taking his time, taking long looks in. So we got time called here. That communication took well beyond its allotted time.
Pitch here from Page, swinging. It's hit hard and deep, but hooking foul out of Carter Roth, and that's really the only opportunity that we've seen here at Curry Field so far this weekend where the power has showed off for Roth. But they're just unlucky and pulls it foul. So count remains 2-2. Vaness leading off. This one's hit hard right at the left fielder, though. Jackson, who makes the grab on the line out. Tough luck again for Carter Roth here at Curry Field.
Yeah, we just said that was maybe the hardest hit ball we've seen. That one was the hardest hit ball in fair play, but like you said, straight to Jackson, who had to take a bit of a leap to get that one as he came in just a tad early, but out still recorded.
Jackson only had to make a couple steps to his right as he just had to make sure he had the right read and then put his glove up and the ball was in it. That thing was getting on him quickly, and now Evan Morrison back up to the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. One pitch here out of Aiden Page as he looks back at the runner at second, just outside, evens the count at 1.
And another long look here from Page. I think there might be another issue with his pitch comm.
He's unable to maybe get in sync with his new battery mate in Rhett Hodgins. Able to figure out there, and it's a great pitch. Morrison swinging at the changeup in the dirt, and now it's a 1-2 count for Aiden Page.
Page utilizing a lot more command and a lot more movement than his velocity so far in this inning.
Looking to set down Morrison. Pitch here. Morrison makes contact, but fouls this one towards the party deck on the left side of the stands. Another 1-2 pitch upcoming after the foul ball. This one in the dirt. Great block back there by Hodgins, who appearing in his third game so far in 2025. The freshman out of Taft College and from Regina, Saskatchewan. So we see both Regina products, Brady By and Red Hodgins behind the plate this afternoon. Pitch here as Anderson goes around. First strikeout of the afternoon for Aiden Page. 2 away here in the 6th.
Yeah, Evan Morrison goes down swinging for the second time today, and that's kind of the confidence Aiden Page will need to continue this game. Talked about him working a little bit more slower, a little bit more methodically, and I imagine that's to just kind of get a hold of these Medicine Hat batters.
Brings Jaden Babiak back up to the plate. He also, like many of his Medicine Hat Mavericks, 0 for this afternoon. This one's in the dirt as he watches that one go in. Babiak last night was 1 for 3 with a run scored, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Ahead in the count 1-0 here. Aiden Page gets the sign. Deals. Babiak pops this one foul and in behind and over the broadcast booth here. Base hit in the gap here, probably scores the runner Vanessa from second. Pitch out of Page is high and away, moves the count to 2-1. This one gets inside and hits Babiak, so he'll take the base. And now there's 2 runners on. Really the most pressure we've seen Medicine Hat put on the Red Sox this afternoon right here.
Now just gets away from Page, trying to hit the inside slider like he did earlier in the at-bat and earlier in this inning. Unable to get the right control. Now we'll try to get things back under control with Volcano. And you wonder if Page is maybe going a little bit slower because of his new catcher behind the plate, just trying to both get equated to the game.
Brings Adam Volcano back to the plate. Back on June 12th, he went 0 for 5. He did score 2 runs in that game, though. And unfortunately for Volcano, hitless in his last 5 games and only 2 hits in his last 7. Going back to May 30th. So he looks to kind of get off the schneid here. Batting just 138 coming into today. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Big swing there as Page has him off balance on the high and in fastball. Strike number 2.
Now we get to see what Page can do when he's up in a count. We haven't seen that quite yet today.
Ball come in from the bullpen. 2 Red Sox pitchers kind of up and walking around. There's a righty working, getting loose. Aiden Page gets the sign here. 0-2 count, 2 outs. Vanessa leading off of second. Babiak off of first. Pitch in the dirt. Volcano swinging at it. Hodgins picks it up. Throws it over to first to complete the strikeout. Mavericks unable to put anything more on the scoreboard. Score remains 5 Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th upcoming here as things continue. We roll on Flow Sports.
60. $20.
Bottom of the 6th inning here, Curry Field, as the score 5-1 Red Sox. Luis Diaz came in with 2 outs in the 4th inning. He walked the first batter he faced, but since then he's faced 6 total batters this afternoon, and he's pitched really well, really.
Yeah, he has done a good job getting some help from his outfield. Definitely more of a ground ball hitter in this game. Hasn't been able to utilize the strikeout just yet, but Red Sox, they'll turn this lineup over, and that'll be a real test for the reliever.
Yeah, it's the 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the bottom of the 6th. Matthew Fox will get things started, followed by Jordan Tucker and Justin Simard, the due up in this inning. Strike in there by Luis Diaz, evens the count at 1. Fox 0 for 2, a strikeout and a hard hit fly out to left field, as this one's hit on the ground to Carter Roth, who fields it on a couple hops, throws it over to Morrison in time, out number 1.
Carter Roth has really impressed me over at third base. He's made a lot of slick plays that would be difficult for a lot of other fielders in this league. There he sees that one right into his glove, a one-hopper that was extremely fast coming off the bat, and he records the first out without a hitch.
Brings the leadoff hitter back up to the plate for Regina, Jordan Tucker, and the Mavericks pitchers have been unable to get this batter out all night. He led off the ball game with a walk and then later came around to score. He has 2 hits and 2 RBIs this evening, both singles that he has, as he hits this one hard on the ground but foul third base side. And since scoring back in the first, the furthest he's been on the base pads is second base. As he swings at that one, and they set him down swinging, out number 2 from Luis Diaz.
And first strikeout of the day for the reliever. Just able to get Tucker swinging a 3, trying to get something in this inning. So they can make it easier for their bullpen should they choose to go to another reliever or stay in with the man Page.
Justin Smart stepping back in, and one of the better games he's played already this season. 2 for 3 is Simard this afternoon. Takes the first pitch ball. Takes another ball, moves the count to 2-0. So with 2 hits this afternoon, Justin Simard's hit streak moves to 4 games. He has 5 hits in that stretch. He also has now 13, make it 14 hits on the season, as he gets another single here as a very nice hit ball into the left center.
Working from the 2 spot, that's a lot of trust being shown by your manager, and he has rewarded it back. Has Simard an RBI today, and his 3rd single, as you mentioned, heating up at a pretty good time for the Red Sox.
Jackson Searing coming back up to the plate, 4th plate appearance, but he is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Grounded into a fielder's choice and reached back in the 1st inning, which was an RBI as well for the right fielder out of LSU Shreveport. And then he had a single in the 3rd and then walked back in the 4th inning as he fouls off the first pitch of this at-bat to the left side. It is Rhett Hodgkins on deck, hoping to get a chance here. There is 2 outs, so there's a possibility that he leads off the next half, or the next inning for Regina, rather, as Searing takes a nice little slider in there for strike number 2.
Now, it is interesting that substitution over to Hodgkins. Kind of in the middle of the game. It is to a new pitcher, so maybe there's that kind of connection they want to establish.
Throw over there has Samard running back.
But offensively, a change that Hodgkins is going to have to prove himself a little bit on.
0-2 pitch, 2 outs. Just outside, Searing gets the call, and so the count now 1-2 as he checks in with Warren Burrell, confirming what Jackson saw out of the hand.
It's a good pitch from Diaz. Just missing on the outer part. Shabbat trying to present that in the zone, but not happening. They'll probably go the same spot.
And Searing likes what he saw there, but he just gets under and fouls it to the screen. The wind dying down a little bit here as we are close to getting through the middle third of this one. So the flag's kind of drooping out there in right center.
And has cooled off a little bit here in North Regina with the clouds coming in.
This one hit hard and through the gap and into right field by Jackson. Searing Samard will be held up at second. Another base hit out of Jackson Searing, and his hot start to the season continues.
It doesn't seem like anyone can seem to retire this guy from the batter's box. He is absolutely rolling. And now here comes Hodgkins.
Hodgins, first pitch swinging, and he gets past the second baseman, Babia. Coming around third is Samar to the plate easily, and they're going to call interference on the shortstop. And so Searing will be granted third base. And a conversation here with Kevin Manzik, the third base umpire. And there's now runners on the corners. After the single out of Rhett Hodgins, his first hit of 2025.
And his first RBI as well. Now, very interesting with the runners interference call. So the Red Sox, even with 2 out, they're going to continue to threaten. As we're going to get a quick mound visit, or a conversation between the head coach and the umpire of the Mavericks.
Just checking in, but we know Kevin Manzik, he's worked as high as AAA last year. Some pro ball down south. A very knowledgeable umpire. He's been around, making the return back to Regina, his hometown, after getting married in the off season. Riley Bender up to the plate. He had a really solid night last night, did Bender, going 3 for 4, earning player of the game honors, but he's 0 for 3 so far this afternoon.
Yeah, but a good spot for him to really get going with 2 on and a chance to put this one just that farther out of reach.
That one foul tipped into the glove out of Bender, and after we got the explanation from Kevin Manzik to the Medicine Hat bullpen, play continues. 0-1 count here. Jackson Searing off a third. Rhett Hodgins on first. Pitch here. Bender swings at the Bender over top, and he was really off balance there. Great pitch.
Yeah, he's showing good velocity as Diaz, as well as a bit of good movement as you saw on that last pitch. Seems to be getting a little bit better as he continues into this game. He is one way through the lineup, working with his second.
This one low and in the dirt. Great block out of Jamal Shabbat.
And I imagine the Mavericks are pretty happy with what they're seeing out of their reliever as well.
For Hodgins in 2023, So not 2024, but 2023 as a high schooler. Got one game. He went 1 for 4 in that game. This one grounded towards the third baseman, Roth. He'll go the short way to get Hodgins at second. So on the fielder's choice, the inning ends. But the Red Sox do put another on the board. It is now 6-1 as we head to the final third of the ball game here this afternoon. We'll be back on Home Team Live.
Yeah, they won, yeah. Yeah. That is, I know. If he comes up again, I'll mention it for sure.
Entering the last third of this ball game here at Curry Field as we enter the top of the 7th inning. Medicine Hat looking to really jumpstart the offense here as they're running out of time to score runs and down by 5 here.
They will turn the lineup over with Shabbat coming up, the 8-hitter. Page took a lot of time in that 6th inning. Only faced 5 batters, though, striking out 2. So clearly there is a method to his style in that 6th. We'll see how much longer he can go here in inning number 7.
Will be the 8-9-1 hitters as the lineup turns over. Jamal Shabbat, Micah Dvorak, and Jeremy Freeman Jr., the duo for Medicine Hat here in the top of the 7th. Aiden Page worked a really good last inning on the mound, coming in relief for Colton Anderson. What have you noticed out of Aiden Page here in this appearance?
Well, it's hard not to notice the time that he's taking, but it seems to be throwing off these Mavericks pitchers. I have liked the movement on some of his pitches. Not exactly whipping it in, but it is dropping pretty well. It is sliding on the inner part to these righties.
Page with a first pitch ball low and in the dirt away. Second pitch of the at-bat to Shabbat is high and in. Count moves to 2-0.
Now Shabbat, he drove in the only run of the game for the Mavericks, an RBI double back in the 5th. He would get trying to take home on a fielder's choice.
And ahead 3-0 in the count here now. Hoping to get the leadoff runner on. Would be just the third time this afternoon the leadoff runner gets on base, and he does on the 4-pitch walk.
Page not really wanting to pitch to the hotter hitter in this Mavericks lineup today. Likes to let his focus go to the 9-hitter.
Micah Dvorak returns to that left-handed batter's box for his third plate appearance of the afternoon. 0 for 2, a flyout, but did reach on a fielder's choice back in the 5th. As the pitch by Aiden Page in there. We do have a ball that came rolling in behind the plate, but Was not caught until after the pitch, so the umpire goes and picks it up. Page getting the sign from Hodgins. And the deal. Doesn't get the call there on a nice little sinker away. And that evens the count at 1 to
Page
Dvorak.
has had some struggles trying to hit the strike zone so far.
13 balls, 16 strikes as we have a look over to first. Chabot diving back in. One pitch. Dvorak swinging, but it's slicing foul and out of play down the left field line. I think coming into the weekend, we are expecting maybe some closer ball games between these two high-powered teams.
Yeah, absolutely. High-powered is just the word, but both teams, I should say, they've been saving their best starters for each other, and Regina have gotten the better of those duels. Wise player management from Regina.
Dvorak was 0 for 2 last night. He laid down a sac bunt, and he goes down looking here. A great pitch out of Aiden Page, which catches the outside black.
Yeah, Dvorak has a bit of words for our umpire as he disagreed with that call a little bit, but he just clips his zone, and that'll be the first out. And a big out here for Page.
Brings the leadoff hitter Jeremy Freeman back to the plate, and for Freeman, has probably been, and on the pickoff attempt, it gets away from right, but for Chabot, was diving back in and unable to get up in time to advance, so crisis averted for Aiden Page. Just going back to Freeman, has been one of the better pitchers, or batters rather, for Medicine Hat this weekend. 5 hits over the last 2 days.
Another one here would be extremely clutch. Heading into their final couple of outs.
1 out here. Great pitch out of Aiden Page, who gets ahead in the count now 0-2. It'll take a deep hit ball into the gap for Chabot to score.
Now it's worth noting the next lefty in the lineup is Tyler Van Nest, who's in the hole at the moment.
0-2 pitch. Right down the middle as Aiden Page gets Freeman looking. What an at-bat out of Aiden Page for his second straight strikeout. All looking.
What an at-bat and what a changeup. Throwing a 1-2 changeup right down the middle to a guy who is off 2 straight hits and is leading off for a reason. That takes some guts, and it takes some good technique shown there from the reliever.
So after the leadoff walk, 2 straight strikeouts for Aiden Page, and now working here, gets another called strike on Aaron Volcano. Page 4 strikeouts since coming into the ball game. Pitch here, hard hit, but it's right at Riley Bender at the hot corner, who puts the glove up, makes the grab, and it's a 4-up, 3-down inning for Medicine Hat, and the Red Sox lead remains 5, 6-1. We'll stretch here at Curry Field and be right back here on Flow Sports.
With your Red Sox leading the Mavericks by a score of 6-1.
Let's get you up here. Let's do a little stretch. We're going to do the 7th-inning stretch. It's brought to you by Water Warehouse. Our friends at Water Warehouse.
Let's go, Bruce.
Fireplace. They are always on your Regina Plumbing and Heating party deck here. And with your Regina Red Sox ticket from today, you'll get 10% this coming week. 10% off on spices at Northern Fireplace here in Regina. So thank you very much to them. And don't forget, coming up at the end of the game, you can run the bases with Slider.
30. Ten.
Bottom of the 7th inning here as we break through the 7th inning stretch. Regina has scored 18 runs in the last 2 games. The pitching has been there. The offense has been there. What has been the key for these Red Sox as they look to close out a weekend sweep of the Medicine Hat Mavericks?
Well, it's going to be key for them is to just keep this lead going and relying on their bullpen. Aiden Page has done a pretty good job out of relief. I don't know how much longer they're going to give him. He's worked 2 full innings now. But for the offense, this is going to keep doing what you're doing. You scored 1 at the bottom of the 6th, and then keep getting these hits is going to be very helpful for them.
First pitch swinging is Raphael Jackson as he fouls that one over the screen and into the crowd just to our left. And he calls time here. Just to clean off the plate a little bit. Jackson last time up hit an automatic double. Sorry, walked, and then in the 4th hit that automatic double over to left center.
That if stayed in play, it could have been 3.
Especially with his wheels. 1-1 pitch here. It's Jackson moving his feet out of the way. Similar pitch to what he was walked on back in the 5th. And now he's ahead in the count 2-1. Diaz working quickly. Pitch called a strike on the outside corner. Evens the count at 2. Pitch here, Jackson making contact. It's into left field. Going back on it is Dvorak just in front of the warning track. Makes the grab. Out number 1 to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th.
You're required to reach from Dvorak, who I mentioned has impressed me pretty well defensively in this game, but out-recorded once more on Jackson. Only the 2nd time, I should say, today for him.
James Wright back in. Wright tonight is 1 for 2 with a single, a walk. He scored 2 runs. Takes a first pitch strike in there. Fortunately, he hit a really hard ball out to left field his last time up, but it was right into the glove of Micah Dvorak. And down quickly 0-2 here. Pitch low and away. He's able to hold off on that one to get ball number 1.
Good discipline from Wright. He did walk back in the 4th, so he's shown some of that today.
Exact same pitch, exact same result as Wright lays off of it. Evens the count at 2-2 as he's worked back into this at bat.
See Diaz working outside to lefties or to righties again. Now he tries to go in. He's done that a few times as well.
Wright able to find it quickly enough and at least stay alive here, fouling it off his foot. So now a 2-2 count. There's 1 away, nobody on as Wright is swinging. He pops this one high into the air. Coming in a few steps now to his right slightly and into foul territory is Carter Roth to make the grab, out number 2.
Another good piece of communication from the Mavericks defense. Roth gets under it, immediately points to himself saying, I got it. Everyone back off. They understood the role. Makes what is a tough play look pretty routine.
Sam Baker, first pitch swinging here to start this at-bat. He's 2 for 3 tonight. 2 singles, a run scored. He was cut down at home on a delayed steal attempt. And he swings at that slider, and he too now down 0-2. Ooh, and this one, at the eyes of Baker, has him diving out of the way. Count moves to 1-2 for Luis Diaz. I would suspect maybe something low and away here. There it is, curveball, but it was in the middle of the zone. Baker makes contact. Backing up on it is Vanest, who makes the grab. So it's a 1-2-3 inning here for Regina, but the score remains 6-1 Red Sox. Top of the 8th inning upcoming. Things continue on Flow Sports. Mavs have 5 comeback wins.
I know. I was going to say something, but.
Nothing is comfortable against Medicine Hat. 5 comeback victories in the 6th inning or later. So they're not up comfortably right now. I'll take my chances. Good. Coming up.
20. $10. 3, 2.
Top of the 8th inning here at Curry Field. Medicine Hat Mavericks coming to the plate, down 5 runs, but everything all but comfortable here for Regina as they have to close this one out. Medicine Hat with 5 comeback victories already this season.
And Aiden Page is going to face 2 lefties due up in this inning, so a dangerous spot.
Good pitch to start things out. A little change up top of the zone, which catches it. Strike number 1.
Vanest was the first batter that Page faced as he goes the whole way through the lineup.
We have mentioned for Regina, despite the comeback ability out of Medicine Hat, if the Red Sox have scored more than 4 runs like they have tonight, they are 6-4. And to this point of the ballgame, they've also given up less than 4 runs, which the Red Sox 6-0 in such games, including 2 shutout games out of the pitching staff. And Aiden Page has pitched really well since coming into relief, entering now his 3rd inning.
Mm-hmm.
Two-one count here to Tyler Vanest. Great little slider in there, strike number 2.
Fantastic. Off speed. Out to in, hits right in the middle of the zone. Van Ness not seeing it now will have to protect 2-2.
Pitch out of Page. Exact same pitch is in there, called strike number 3. Vaness knows he missed an opportunity there, and he walks slowly back to the dugout.
For the 2nd time today, he's out on strikes. And now it'll be Carter Roth. 0 for 3 today. And I feel like we've said this 3 times. He can pop up whenever he'd like. However, the Mavericks would kind of need him to do that now.
Pitch here by Page is in the dirt. That gives us a quick opportunity to check the out-of-town scoreboard, something we haven't done already tonight. Saskatoon and Weyburn 13-4 for the Berries there. Top of the 9th inning as that one draws to an end. Okotoks up on Energy City 8-1, top of the 7th inning. Well, the Musha Miller Express up 18-2 on the Swift Current 57s, bottom of the 5th. Sylvan Lake leads the Bombers 7-4, and Fort McMurray up 3-1 on the Lethbridge Bulls, as now Roth grounds this one over the shortstop. Fox, and the Red Sox pitchers have been able to really snuff out the bat of Carter Roth, who came into this week as the #1 hitter in the league, and he's 0 for 8 this weekend.
Yeah, they've all been by the field. No strikeouts today. So Roth, clearly Red Sox see something in the way they want to pitch to him, and that's forced him to ground out. Now we got a substitute coming in. This is Yusei Uzawa coming in for Evan Morrison.
Uzawa, a lefty, as the Mavericks try to get something going here late in this ball game. Uzawa, I watched him take batting practice today. He crushed one over the right field fence. All of his contact was really solid. He looked like he was seeing the ball well. I was surprised he didn't get the start. He was hitting it hard to all areas of the field. And now he moves ahead in the count, 2-1.
Uzawa did play yesterday, although he was subbed out later on. He went 1 for 3 and was caught stealing back in the first.
Doesn't get the call there. A 248 hit, or 246 hitter coming in, 14 for 47 on the year, 1 double, 15 runs driven in, 17 walks, has struck out 10 times as he's hit here. So he'll take first base. Runner on against Aiden Page. He has had to deal with runners on base this entire outing almost. He's given up just the 1 hit. That the second batter he's hit already this afternoon, and then he has also surrendered a walk.
And the other man he's hit is this man, Jaden Babiak.
But 2 outs, 1 pitch away from getting out of it. First pitch fastball high and away. Ball 1. Look over there at first. That was a close play, but Uzawa able to dive back in safe.
Good knowledge by the reliever. Uzawa can steal a base if he needs to. And getting a runner in scoring position with 2 out in the 8th would be key.
This one hit hard by Babiak and into center field, but under it easily is Jordan Tucker. Despite the hit batter, none come across to score. 4 runners come to the plate, 3 go down. It remains 6-1 Red Sox. Bottom of the 8th upcoming here on Flow Sports. Diaz again. No, new pitcher, 16.
Huh? Oh.
Luke. Luke Barrientos. Could have had an easier name.
That was 16, right? Okay.
Back inside Curry Field, bottom of the 8th inning. We have some fielding changes now with the substitution of Uzawa coming in as a pinch hitter. He now moves out into left field while Micah Dvorak, who was starting there, moves to right. And the previous right fielder, who was Aaron Volcano, moves to first base. And we have a new pitcher into the ball game. It's Luke Barrientos.
So that does close the day for Luis Diaz. He goes 3 1/3, allowing a run on 3 hits, 2 walks, striking out 1. Makes way for Barrientos, who on the year is 2-2 in 6 games. 5 earned run average. He has struck out 14, walked 8, and allowed over 9 innings.
First pitch out of Barrientos to Matthew Fox, who leads things off. Called a strike, although I believe they said Fox went around as it was in the dirt, as he swings at this one as well.
Barrientos, a righty from Ridgefield, Connecticut, senior at Vassar College.
At 0-2, and this one hits Matthew Fox. He'll take the base the first time he's been able to reach this afternoon.
I was unfortunate, an 0-2 pitch to get away from Barrientos.
Brings Jordan Tucker back up to the plate. He is 2 for 3, and he's only been sent down 1 time. He's got 2 singles. He's come across to score. He's driven in 2 runs. A really solid game for the leadoff hitter this afternoon for Tucker. As Barrientos just grips that one a little too hard, throws it into the dirt away, and ball number 1.
Barrientos' last time pitching was 2 days ago against Okotoks in a 5-4 win. He went 1 2/3, allowing no runs on 1 hit. He walked 1, struck
Runner
out 2.
goes, and it's in and out of the glove of Shabbat. So Fox gets the stolen base, and it's ball number 2.
Good jump from Fox.
Yes.
Heads up base running from the young man.
So runner in scoring position for Justin Tucker. He's been in this situation already this afternoon. This one gets away after being in the dirt. Another wild pitch, and Fox able now to advance to third without even there being a hit.
You know, usually in this kind of inning, Red Sox usually just try to take some time, or not even just the Red Sox team will just try to take some time with the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Try to maybe get their guy going on the bullpen or their reliever a little bit more time. But here, Red Sox could be threatening with a 5-run lead. Still none out, by the way.
So Shabbat goes to talk to his senior pitcher and Barrientos. They seem to figure it out as the catcher tries to give his battery mate a little vote of confidence here. Down 3-0 in the count, though, none out. Matthew Fox leading off a third. Sack fly situation, and Tucker was taking that pitch in all the way. But a good one nonetheless out of Barrientos to at least attempt to get back into this at-bat.
Yeah, he watched that changeup kind of drop and thought about swinging, but knew it'd be tough.
Pitch there, catches the inside part of the zone as Tucker took a step towards first, but now the count worked back full as Barrientos able to grind through this one. And Warren Burrell just called Jordan Tucker out on strikes.
Tucker thought it was a little in, tried to move out of the way to sell it, but it's going to be called for strike 3 in the inner part.
It was a very nice breaking ball out of the hand of Barrientos, which Warren Burrell says caught the inside part of the plate. First strikeout of the outing for the righty.
And they'll check the swing.
Samar checks swinging, looked down at first, and Connor Joslin says he went around there.
Yeah, the right call. Against a hitter who is 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run.
Infield coming way in. They're all on the infield grass now. This one in the dirt as they'll hope to keep Matthew Fox standing at third on a base, or a ball hit rather, to any of the fielders. Anything into the gap and out of the infield scores the runner at third for sure. And maybe a hard hit fly ball, even if it's caught, also should score Fox. Smart this afternoon, 3 for 4, 3 singles, so he has been a tough out. And a really good ball game out of Samard. Pitch here in the dirt. Count moves to 3-1. Barrientos looks in, gets the sign from Shabbat. Fox leading off a third. Pitch is low and in the dirt. Justin Samard works the walk. Runners on the corners.
But now a double play ball in effect. So give and take for the Mavs.
Jackson Searing, the 3-hole hitter this afternoon, 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice. So he's been running around the bases a lot this afternoon. His hit back in the 3rd inning extended a hit streak. He's had a hit in each game he's played so far in 2025, just 5 of them. So he hits this one hard and foul and out of play.
Yeah, picking up right where he left off, both here last year and from his collegiate season just a couple of weeks ago. He's a guy the Red Sox are kind of relying on offensively, and it's a good one to rely on.
0-1 pitch here is inside. Breaking ball doesn't catch the zone, evens the count. So for Searing, going back to the regular season, back to July 24th of 2024, 12-hit ball game, or 12-hit streak. For the right fielder Searing, now in there is an 0 for 3 playoff game. But regular season, 12 straight games with a hit. As this one's over the head, and he's ducking out of the way. Also, one thing that I noticed out of Jackson, he cut his hair.
Yes, he did. Had a lot longer of a flow going last year. I'd imagine that when you get all those pictures with the trophy, you want to look a little bit more groomed coming out of an undefeated season.
And after the first pitch foul ball, 4 straight balls out of Barrientos and 2 straight walks as Searing also gets on base now. Bringing Red Hodgins to the plate as we have another mound visit. The command getting away from Barrientos.
So what we'll do is we'll take this time to look at the out-of-town scoreboard. In in Saskatoon, the Berries are currently beating up on the Weyburn Beavers. 13-4 is the score there. Out in Okotoks, the Dogs are beating the Energy City Cactus Reds 8-1. And the score just continues to rise at Ross Wells Park. Moose Jaw is currently beating Swift Current 24-2. Brooks Bombers are currently trailing the Sylvan Lake Gulls 8-4, and the Lethbridge Bulls away at Fort McMurray have lost to the Giants 3-1.
For Barrientos, he was a 2024 Liberty League All-Academic Team recipient last year, and Rhett Hodgins takes a first pitch strike. Hodgins, who appeared as a defensive replacement for Brady Bye, is 1 for 1 already this afternoon. He's got the bases loaded here. This one well outside and away, evens the count. Barrientos in 2025 with Vazar, 9 appearances, an ERA of just 2.3, had an 0-1 record in 11 2/3 innings pitched. 4 saves though. So you get some work in this afternoon. Good pitch there on the outside corner, moves the count to 1-2. Gave up just 4 hits, 12 walks, struck out 16 batters.
Wow.
And opponents only hit 114 off of him in his latest collegiate season.
It's a pretty good ratio to have with the 16 Ks. Could use one of those here to get out of this jam.
He's walked 2 straight batters. He's also hit 1 this inning, but he has struck 1 out. 1 away, bases loaded. to Rhett Hodgins. 2-2 count. That one outside works the count full. Rhett Hodgins working another really good at bat here. Full count, bases loaded. Payoff pitch, low and in, and Rhett Hodgins works the walk, and a run will come across to score. What an at-bat out of the catcher, Hodgins, to score a run.
So that is the second run he's brought in. One via hit, one via walk.
So the score now moves to 7-1. Riley Bender, who is 0 for 4 tonight, looking to get off the schneid after a really good ball game at the plate last night. A hit here probably changes the entire dynamic of how he feels about today.
And a hit here would mean that everyone in the Red Sox lineup would reach base via base hit. So Bender looking to hopefully enable that statistic.
12 hits out of the Red Sox to this point of the ball game. This one's hit high and hard to left. Looking up is Uzawa, and it's a grand slam home run for Riley Bender. And just like that, the 0 for 4 night doesn't even matter.
With one swing of the bat and the base is juice. 11-4 is now the score. Regina running away with it, and they are on the verge of sweeping Medicine Hat here at home.
And now the lead is comfortable at 11-1 for the Red Sox. And it's another game this season where the Medicine Hat pitching staff gives up a boatload of runs. The 5th time this season they have allowed 10 or more runs to score.
Definitely an off weekend for the Mavericks. They'll just look to head down back to Fort McMurray to face off against Brooks before going back to Saskatchewan to play Swift Current, and they'll look to get ready for those games.
As for Regina, they have a couple nights off. Their next opponent is on a Wednesday night against Moose Jaw in Moose Jaw before a Thursday night ball game here at Curry Field against Energy City. Our first look at the Cactus Rats this season.
Yeah, that Moose Jaw game, the Trans-Canada Clash, usually a indicator of who will be at the top of the East. This year, however, it looks like we got a couple of new contenders.
Jackson hits this one high and hard into left. This one playable for Uzawa out there, and it falls into the glove. Out number 2 as Jackson tried to follow up the grand slam with the long ball of his own. Unable to do so.
Well, a couple nights ago, Red Sox went back-to-back, one grand slam and then another homer right after. Trying to emulate that here. But another 10-run lead for the Red Sox. How awesome would that be for their morale to go 2 10-run wins at home against a tough team?
Yeah, so it looks like the winning streak will get to 3 games, and doing so against 2 really tough opponents in the Weyburn Beavers who have been scrappy this year. Although kind of falling off, at least to start the season, look to have had some improvement in the off-season has the Beavers, and then the Medicine Hat Mavericks, obviously always a contender. So 2 very convincing wins for Regina so far. At least that's the way it's looking.
And it feels like after that loss a couple nights ago against Swift Current, a extremely winnable game, especially for a team of Regina's caliber, where it feels like the entire lineup just couldn't get off the bench. And now they can't seem to get off the score sheet. And now that officially means every single player on the Red Sox lineup today has either reached base or gotten a base hit.
Well, the only one that didn't was Brady Bye, who started the game behind the plate. Unfortunately, went 0 for 3, so he's probably wishing that maybe he got one more chance at it to try and get on the score sheet. But as the Bender here hits James Wright, the second hit batter of this inning out of Barrientos.
And now they're calling it back.
Riley Bender ducked into that one. And so they're going to bring him back to the plate.
Yeah, they're going to say Wright leaned into it. Wright saying I got hit.
And Rai Prathakos now going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire as we work through this one. And here comes Kevin Manzik here to also help out with the explanation.
And the decision's going to stand. They're going to send him back to the plate.
So we'll do it again. The pitch does not count. So the count remains 1-2. It's not a strike, not a ball. It's a dead ball. So weird situation here, as the fans are giving it now to the home plate umpire as well, and it seems like one Red Sox faithful will have his night end early here on Father's Day.
Yeah, he's going to miss the last about 4 outs of this ball game. This argument a little bit elementary at this point.
It was beer batter pricing all day long.
Yes, it was. Beer Shack, from my knowledge, closed for these last few innings, but that Father's Day deal.
And Wright makes no mistake on the very next pitch. He ropes that one into right center. He's going to make the turn at first and decide to head back. So it's a base hit after the supposed hit by pitch, and he's on first nonetheless.
So in a way, a blessing in disguise for Wright. He goes from upping his OPS to upping his average with a well-earned base hit. And this is going to cause a pitching change here for the Mavs.
We'll introduce you to the new pitcher in red when we come back. Short break coming up on Flow Sports.
Get that one right. There you go.
Caught myself.
Really not sure about that one call, but whatever. I'm not going to moan about it. We're up 10.
Yeah, whatever. It's 11-1. Who is it? $27.
Uh, 35. Are you listening to me? Damn it.
New pitcher onto the mound for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, as this one well out of reach, it seems now, is the right-handed pitcher out of Johnson University, Ryan Dexter.
Second-year Maverick coming on to the play. The right-hander has 5 games under his belt this year. He's gone 3 2/3, wing 5 hits and 6 walks, but striking out 6 on the year. He is tasked with 1 win. His last appearance was in a 17-8 win against Swift Current. He went 1 inning allowing 2 runs, both earned, 3 hits, striking out 2 across 6 batters.
As for Barrientos, he goes just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, including the grand slam to Riley Bender. Gave up 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Right now, 5 runs all earned, and he's still responsible for James Wright over there at first. He also hit a batter. Actually hit 2, but Riley Bender's does not count. So Dexter looks to get what likely will be the last out of the Red Sox part of the ball game. Medicine Hat still a chance to bat here in the top of the 9th.
An interesting delivery here coming here from Dexter. The kind of wild arms that he throws.
This one hit high and hard into left. This one looks playable. Going back on it is Vanest. It's going to drop into his glove, and Dexter needs just 2 pitches to get out of it. But the Red Sox put up a crooked number on the board. 5 runs, including the big shot by Riley Bender. It's 11-1. Top of the 9th. Last chance for Medicine Hat coming up on Flow Sports.
We go to the top of the 9th. Red Sox lead 11-1.
Including that one guy who got thrown out. Said good, like, applaud all the fans. And I said, including that guy who got thrown out.
Yeah, except for that guy, yeah. Who's this?
14, I think.
David Hankins, also an LSU Shreveport pilot. How are we doing?
$30.
Top of the 9th inning here as this one drawing to a close. It is David Hankins on the mound making his Red Sox debut, and he started with 1 in the dirt and 1 at the eyes of Adam Volcano.
Another one of these LSUS guys that we've talked kind of ad nauseum about, but I promise that'll taper off here in these next few games as we get into the midseason point.
Hankins, a junior with the Pilots, a part of that 59-0 undefeated Division II World Series team. And gets a strike in there as Volcano looks it in.
So Volcano, Shabbat, and Dvorak, barring a pinch hitting change, that'll be 7-8-9.
And Hankins able to work the count back full. Hankins, I mentioned, a sophomore out of Katy, Texas. And unable to find the zone there, so it is a walk to the leadoff hitter Volcano for Hankins, making his Red Sox debut in last season, 2024-25, made 18 appearances, including a start. He was 5-0 with the Pilots in 23 1/3 innings pitched, an ERA of 2.7 on 16 hits against, 9 runs, 7 of those earned. Gave up 8 walks, struck out 29 batters, and had a whip of just over 1.
So pretty decent numbers for the Pilots pitcher. So he can convert that here into his first appearance.
Again, more of the winning pedigree which Rai Pathakos has tried to build here in Regina, bringing in 4 such LSUS pilots this year. There was supposed to be a 5th, but Draven Ziegler deciding to not come up to Regina this season. As Hankins throws this one in the dirt, count goes to 1-2 for Jamel Shabbat. He's 1 for 2 tonight, a ground out, a double, and a walk. Was thrown out at home by Matthew Fox on a fielder's choice. Great throw by Matthew Fox back in The 5th inning that was. A really good defensive play. Just hoping to go through the motions and get through this one. The Red Sox putting up 23 runs on these Mavericks this weekend. Hard hit ball here. This one, double play opportunity. Fox to Baker. Over to right. In time. Just like that, the Mavs only with 1 out remaining.
And a clean pick from Fox. Able to turn to Baker with plenty of time to set and throw. Makes the play, and now it's going to be Micah Dvorak. The last chance for the Mavs.
And almost ceremoniously, the number 9 hitter, the last chance for Medicine Hat this afternoon. 0 for 3 to this point of the ball game with a fly out, a strikeout, and reached on a fielder's choice. He's first pitch swinging. This one into the crowd to the left side. And it appears a series sweep for Regina on this Father's Day weekend, Elliott. This one hit up the middle. That's going to get past Fox, so a 1 for 4 night for Micah Dvorak, and we'll do it one more time.
And he's able to turn the lineup over, albeit a little bit late. Mavericks still trying to show some kind of fight.
That brings Jeremy Freeman back up to the plate. 2 for 4 night for him. Looks a ball in there. Counts 1-0, and I mean, the probability of it happening are near 0, but the game is not over, so anything could happen here. Although 10 runs with just 1 out remaining seems like a Mount Everest and then some.
Yeah, no Darby Allin on the team to climb it.
3 straight balls here out of Hankins as he tries to get used to the Curry Field mound and pitcher's eye behind home plate.
I'd imagine that does take some getting used to, going from different surfaces.
This one fouled to the screen. If not for the screen, I think it would have ended up in my hand.
Yeah. Your reactions are just like that, huh?
So the count 3-1. Dvorak leading off of first. Again, this is the last chance for the Curry Field faithful to see these Mavericks. The remaining 4 games of this series, all at Athletic Park in Medicine Hat, and Regina will take a 3-1 season series lead through the rest of this. Here goes the runner on the full count. Matthew Fox grounds this on a couple hops, throws it over to right, and that completes the ball game. It's another rout here at Curry Field as the Red Sox put up 11 on the scoreboard with a win streak now at 3 games.
This is what Pathakos was absolutely dreaming of coming into this set. He didn't think it was going to be too attainable, but the offense came alive after a disappointing game in Swift Current. 3 straight wins, and Regina, they're trying to prove themselves to be contenders in the East and contenders for a WCBL title.
And they did it in convincing fashion as well. We hit on it later in the ballgame. 23 runs for Regina, just 3 for the weekend set for Medicine Hat. And although coming into the series, it seemed as though Medicine Hat was the bats were hot and everything was going right for them, while Regina, things were kind of sputtering and they were still trying to work into the season. But that's not what we saw here this weekend at all.
No, not at all. The Regina starters absolutely performed so well today. We saw it from Hungerford. Just dominant performances from the mound for really the Red Sox. Everyone's going to look at the 23 runs from this series, but I think holding them to just 3, and I mean holding them, like those runs were fought and scraped for, and that's all they were able to get.
Anderson gets the win this afternoon. Max Hudlow credited with the loss. But who's the player of the game for these Red Sox this afternoon?
Well, this evening I would honestly want to give it to the starting pitcher, Colton Anderson, but how about we give it to Jackson Searing? I mean, wasn't retired coming out of the batter's box once, did come around to score, walked twice, an RBI fielder's choice, an impressive day from the outfielder.
So once again, a big win for the Regina Red Sox, a 3-game win streak. They'll do it again on Wednesday night in Moose Jaw. You can watch that game right here on Flow Sports College Baseball. We'll be back here on Thursday night when the Red Sox take on the Energy City Cactus Rats here at Currie Field, their next home game. And what a night it was, and they'll look to string together another big win streak are these Red Sox. It's an 11-1 victory. The final line tonight, Medicine Hat 1 run on 7 hits, no errors, 9 runners left on, while Regina 11 runs on just 14 hits. Also left 9 runners on. Again, Anderson credited with the win. For Elliot Wagner, I'm Donovan Mays. Thank you so much for joining us. And from our friends at IKS Media and the Western Canadian Baseball League, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next time.